Welcome, folks. Do not adjust your sets. Yes, this is Sorcery and Shenanigans, your source for very casual actual play TTRPG stuff, whenever we can fit it into our schedules, essentially. Um, we are back. We've been away for a very, very long time. Our last episode came out way back in April of this year, and we had an extended hiatus because we're busy people and we had loads to do. So yes, we are back now. We're online, doing this on Zoom, not in person, but we are going to continue our story. I am your DM, Wayne. Here are your players, Kim and Jill. And just to give you a very brief recap on where you might have left us off, this is actually a really good jumping on point, actually, because I did go through all of my notes and look through all of the story points up to now. And this is, if you're just joining us for the first time, this is a nice little jumping on point where you get to meet the characters again. I will get the players to introduce themselves and their characters just for a refresher to give you an idea of who they are, who they're playing, and then we'll jump straight into the story. Where we last left off, and actually, apologies, my ditziness aside, we do have a giveaway for this episode. We're coming back in style. Thanks to our good friend, Gary Maloney, comic book writer extraordinaire. We have a copy of When the Blood Has Dried, his graphic novel from Man Cave, signed by Gary. With a little note there to the lucky winner. So we will be giving this away at the break. So we will come up with a question at the break, and you'll be in a chance to win this. We will post it out to you wherever you are around the world. So thank you very much, Gary, to that. That's been a long time coming. I keep saying to Gary that we're going to give away a copy of that book on the show. He very graciously was like, give it away. And unfortunately, I kept forgetting. So I did promise on the last episode that we would give it away on this episode. So here we are. So where we last left off, the group had escaped from the Temple of Duality after a trip through time with their penguin friend, Emperor Brennan. They returned to their usual time to discover that their friend, Captain Ming-Na, had been taken by her former first mate and taken to who knows where. Their ship, the Silver Spear, was left adrift in space, requiring repair. The two adventurers, now co-captaining the ship, managed to gather the crew together, bolster them, and they limped to a nearby ship graveyard and found the materials required to upgrade slightly and also repair the ship enough that they could get to a port for then further and final repairs to make the ship spaceworthy again. One of their pilots, Elevar, and his brother, they were the twin helm of the ship. Elevar's brother, unfortunately, apologies, 1 second. Elevar's brother was killed by the former first mate of the Silver Spear, stabbed through the chest with a poison blade. And the duo here found the brothers in the damaged engine room where the helm of the ship lays. Elevar requested that they bring him back to his home sphere, to basically undergo the burial rites, the home sphere of Verconia Prime, to undergo the burial rites. If they didn't do it in a particular time frame, it would have been catastrophic. There would have been magical and arcane consequences, and a curse would have befallen them if they didn't undertake this. So, once the ship was repaired enough that they could limp to Verconia Prime, they disembarked and discovered that Verconia Prime was not exactly how Elevar remembered it. Now, under the iron rule of his father, it had once been a glowing sphere of prosperity and general, a world that was covered entirely of a happy populace, with a righteous king who ruled over them with love in his heart. That heart now corrupt and broken, and the world suffering. They found farmland that was being tended by what they originally thought were laborers, turning out to be slave workers, being watched over by the royal guards. Sidestepping this, the group made camp in a nearby forest, and upon wakening the following morning, find that they are surrounded by ranger-type individuals. And at the head of this group, Elevar's sister, Eowa. And that's where we come into the story after our long break. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask the players to introduce themselves, introduce their characters, tell a little bit more about their characters, just in case you've forgotten and you need a bit of a refresher, or if you're joining us for the first time. So, Jill, if you kick us off.
Okay. I am playing Zildara Mizzruin. She is a surly, sultry drow. She has been adventuring for quite some time. A few episodes ago, we got to travel back in time and see her parents, one of whom she lost in her time, so that was quite interesting. She discovered that both her mother and her aunt were very powerful warriors, and she has a history with a couple of deities. Lalt is following her around like a bad smell, it seems like, but she has been refining her skills following some tutelage from the young version of her mother, and devoting her energy to investigating and exploring more about Elestri. Yep. So she's found herself thrown together with this band. She would have been quite a loner, I suppose, before this quest, but I think Gray has endeared himself to her a lot. They've been through some shit together at this stage, and there are a handful of people that she would call friend, people that she would be willing to risk her neck for, or at least murder a bunch of fuckers for. She doesn't really suffer fools. She will resort to violence rather than negotiation. She can be quite sneaky, which I think is sort of attributed to her race, but she herself is I think it's because she's not very trustworthy. She tends to be sneaky. But yeah, so she's been along for the ride with Gray for a while. We've lost a couple of people on the way, and now she has two key motivators in front of her. Need to find Ming Na, the original captain of the Silver Spear, the other person who was inflicted with these thaumaturgy tattoos.
Yes.
That we still need to get rid of. And she has found herself connected with Elevar, who was originally lived on this planet and left with his brother Carrad many, many moons ago. And they have managed to pilot the Silver Spear together since Carrad's untimely murder. So she feels she needs to do right by Elevar, help him send his brother off to the great big beyond, and then continue the quest to find Ming Na, and then eventually get back to their original plan, which was to get fucking rid of these tattoos.
Yep.
But there are some whispers in the dark and some hidden evils and stuff that have kind of poked their head up along the way. Some things still don't fully understand, but hopefully we'll get some more answers to those burning questions on Verconia Prime.
Excellent. Yes, that is another little story note to make, is that originally they were cursed with these tattoos that seem to be linked with the god Tharizdun, god of chaos. And on Tharizdun, there just seemed to be something weaving itself through this entire story frame of the group, where chaos follows them everywhere they go, mostly for the bad, sometimes for the good, but mostly for the bad. So, Kim, introduce yourself and tell us about Gray.
Hi, I'm Kim, and Gray is a lovely bard tabaxi, and he's an absolute sweetheart, and he has a terribly unconvincing Hugh Laurie style, Benedict Cumberbatch style, flat American accent, so you can tell the difference between Kim and Gray. Also, Gray doesn't ask dumb questions as much as Kim does, so she'll be all right. Gray's big motivators are helping the group, helping the gang, and probably due to player error, he launches into fights with like daggers in both paws and a bow in his tail and stuff, even though he's a bard. So he should probably be like support. But it's a two people party sometimes, so everybody's got to be holding their own. I'm excited about seeing what's going on. I would love if we had a big enough fan base to have artists drawing what a tabaxi looks like with those arcane tattoos. That'll look pretty good. But I'll probably get one of my faux fur coats and put it in the Breville sandwich maker and see if that does it. Anyway, so very excited about the next thing. I call the NPC characters by the wrong names. I did it in the last one.
It happens. And speaking of art, we do actually have on that side of the screen, beside each of the character names you'll see there, we do have art from, I'm going to get this completely wrong, but Ixcato is our resident artist. Thank you so much for the art of both Zill and for Gray as well. Do check them out. You can find them. There is stuff on Etsy, there's stuff on Blue Sky. You'll find them all over the internets. They are fantastic. You'll see a lot of their art over at D8 Dungeon as well, who are also friends of the show. So yes, without further ado, let us jump into the story. So, following waking up with arrows in your face, you now find yourselves hands tied behind your back. Being yourself, Gray, Zill, Merrick, who is the ship's doctor, who is with you, or ship's cleric, or and also Elevar.
Merrick the cleric.
As the four of you are now being escorted by this armed group through a thick, dense forest. It's early in the morning. The sun or the suns are just peeking over the horizon, and there are shafts of light coming in from different directions through the canopies of the trees. There is that kind of foresty scent of kind of undergrowth and mulch that is deep. So you are moving deeper and deeper into this forested area. You were initially kind of close to a tree line, following your movement past that kind of farmland that had all the slave workers in. But you've now been traveling. You notice you're traveling deeper and deeper into the forest. You're very aware of the smells and the feeling and the denseness and the closeness of the air in here. Elevar did announce, he did say, well, good morning, sister, as Iowa stood before him and kind of looked down on his kind of sleeping bag form as he looked up at her with an arrow pointed right in his face. But the one thing you noticed as they greeted each other, that there wasn't an outpouring of affection. There wasn't a big reunion of this long-lost brother and his older sister, who seems to be in charge of this entire troop. She is at the head of the troop, and there's one stipulation that she made sure Elevar did. He put his cloak back on, and he put his hood up, and he has his head down as his hands are tied behind his back. The guards are walking alongside all of you as you walk single file through the forest. You're not, your hands are bound, you're not gagged, you can still talk. You don't have your hoods up unless you wish to. But the troop are keeping an eye on you, but also keeping an eye on the tree line, watching it, and you can notice it straight away. It's not as if they're trying to hide it. They're being extra cautious as they move through this forested area.
They're all rangers. They're not royal guards. They're
Give me a perception check, please.
Ooh, and we're off.
Mm-hmm.
Right, sorry. $15.
15. You can't help but notice that while they aren't dressed in the same garb as what you saw those soldiers in the farmland are, like they were fully armored. They had the insignia of the royal house emblazed on their armor. These hold themselves in the same manner. They're well trained. They have a lofty appearance, think like that elvish kind of hoitiness about them, and they are all kind of elven, half elven. There's no real mix of race here. They do have, like, they all look very similar to Elevar. They have that pinkish hued skin, shock of white hair, kind of reddish eyes. Some of them with facial hair that is kind of growing in and long and plaited, and some of the hair is tied back and braided. But they do carry themselves with enough finesse for you to understand. With a 15, these are well trained and trained in a way that they give off the vibe of a guards, a collection of guards, but maybe not royal guards.
Hey. All right. Thank you.
So Merrick is kind of grumbling under his breath, and he's kind of looking around, and he's getting a bit twitchy, like, you know. He's a twitchy individual as is, but he's like, do you have any idea where they're taking us? And he kind of mumbles to Elevar, who has his head down, but you can see Elevar's head, even in the hood, is moving back and forth, taking everything in. And he doesn't answer Merrick, though. He's kind of paying attention to his surroundings. Is there anything you want to do in this moment?
Ooh. We're still bound?
Your hands are tied behind your back. You're walking. You're moving single file. So the marching order is Gray, you're at the front. Zilzara, you're second. Elevar's in the middle. And then Merrick is at the back. And there are 2 guards on either side of you, but about a good 5 to 10 feet away from you, kind of marching along the side of the pathway, which is, you can see it's well worn here. There is like a well-worn path, but you also notice that up ahead they are still kind of, you see a few of them are kind of scouting around the area, making sure that you're kind of enclosed. And behind you there's another maybe 5 to 6 guards. In total there's about 25 of them, so it's a substantial amount.
Okay.
What are our bonds made from?
When they
rope, are they metal, or
they're rope, well made, kind of thick, hempish rope. I mean, like, as a drow, I mean, you could do a check if you want to roll. Give me either I don't know. You could give me, if you want to see if it's enchanted, give me Arcana. If you want to see what type of rope it is,
do an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Balls 7.
You can't tell whether this is enchanted rope, but it's very well bound. The knots are tight. Not too tight. It's not causing pain, but you're finding it hard to move your hands.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get away. I'm interested in where we're going to, because of the suspicion I have that these folks were trained kind of properly in the usual way, but seem to be their own thing. I presume that they're a splinter group, and I'm quite interested in splinter groups. I've no way of knowing if I'm right, but that's what I've worked out at this point, so I'm just going to see what happens.
I'm interested, but I also really fucking hate being bound and marched somewhere.
Yeah.
So Z is trying to. Sorry, who was behind Sil? Did you say? Is it
Elevar's right behind you? Yeah.
Okay. Can I sort of whisper to him? So, do you think it'd be a big deal if I broke my bonds?
You kind of see his head slightly jerk up, and you can just see his bright eyes underneath the hood as he kind of looks at you. He's like, I wouldn't recommend it. There are a lot of them, and only a few of us. They are well trained, believe me. They will cut you down in an instant if you try to escape.
I reckon I could take them, but I don't really want you guys.
Still. Can I see? Yeah, I'm in front of you. I don't know. I mean, I feel like at this point I'll be able to sense disquiet from you.
She's getting squirrely.
Yeah,
I mean, look, the fur on the back of your neck kind of prickles up because you can sense the apprehension and the tension of Zill as she's kind of like, I don't like this. This isn't good. Elvar kind of pipes in. Is like, we are not in any danger, not immediate danger. My sister is not one to be reckoned with, but she's not going to cause us any harm. We bide our time, we find out where they're taking us, and then we make our move. That would be my suggestion.
And I'm just going to turn around and give Zilla. Here we go again. Look, but with a, I'm fine, chill out kind of underscoring. She doesn't have to accept that.
No. Okay, so Zill, based on what Elvar has said, she's going to calm down. How long are they marching us along for? Like, is there any... I know you were saying we're going kind of deeper into the undergrowth. Like, have we any sense of time or distance? Or
it hasn't been very long. You've traveled for the last maybe 20-30 minutes. Like, you've only been gone for about a half an hour, but you are going deeper into the woods. While the sun is coming up, you notice that it's very much more light behind you than it is more where you're going. The woods are getting thicker. You're heading into the center area of what this space is, and the air is heavier. You start to hear as well, you notice that while on the outskirts there was the chittering of birds and you could hear the rustle of small animals as this troop moved through this space, kind of upsetting. Not overly upsetting though, they're moving carefully and quietly, and it is a worn path that they're used to. Give me a perception check if just to see if you notice anything, Zill.
Both of us?
Yeah, 14. if you wish, yeah. I'll roll for Elvar and for Merrick. Okay, and it's garbage. Merrick's a bit better.
9, yeah, mine's garbage too.
Okay. Merrick did okay. Merrick got 17. What did you get, Jill?
14.
So Merrick is kind of looking around, like, we are going deeper and deeper into this place. And can you feel the smell and the dankness of the air? And you, as he says it, Zill, you pick up on it as well, that there's on the outskirts, it was fresh, it was clean, it was forest air. It was a nice kind of naturey smell. But there's now a dankness to the air where you're moving into. And as you notice this, as Merrick says it, you look, and the rest of them are noticing it as well. As in, the guards are noticing it, and they're kind of giving each other this look. And you see one or two of them gently draw a blade while the others knock an arrow on a bow, and they kind of start prepping themselves. And they look like they're getting ready for something, but they're not paying attention to you at this point. They're kind of looking outwards.
Okay.
And you hear a voice at the top as Eowa kind of like, everybody get down. And she kind of gestures and gets down low. And you just, she melds into the forestry. Her hood and her cloak they meld with the green. And then the rest of them pull their hoods up on their cloaks, and you see they also meld in with the green. Now, your cloaks are kind of naturey in colour, but they don't, these are literally, you just see them kind of getting low to the ground. They pull their hoods up, and you're looking directly at them, but you know if they move in one couple of steps to the left, a couple of steps to the right, and they go into the underbrush, they would vanish. And you see them slowly but surely down. And you hear, off in the distance to your right, you hear kind of a large crunching. It's a good bit away. It's not right on top of you, but it's definitely something large, moving through the forest. It's like as like the undergrowth is getting pushed and the shake kind of moves through the forest, and you just see the kind of the wave of it, and they kind of stay still, and you see the guards are to either side of you are down, hunkered, one with their bow. They kind of pull on it a bit more taut, and they look off in the general direction of the sound and the movement.
Hey, princess, it'd be much cooler if you untied us if we're expecting some trouble.
Do you say this to the guard next to you, or are you trying to say this to Iowa?
How far away is she?
She's about good 15 feet from you, so she's a couple of people up past you.
Okay, so I'm going to say to the guard next to me, it'd be much cooler if your princess untied us if you're expecting some trouble.
You just see these eyes look over at you underneath the hood, and they kind of frown a bit, and then just shake their head, and then look back out into the forest.
Is that Zeke canon?
Yes.
It is, yeah. It is, yeah. And there's like the rustling continues, and then it dissipates and moves off in a different direction. And one by one, the Iowa and the guards stand up, pull their hoods back slightly, and then she kind of looks back and gestures to move on. And you begin to move into the underbrush, and you're off the beaten track now. You're moving through the forested area, and there is now just thick trees. And the trees here, like you've seen all sorts of foliage and different kind of like tree lines throughout your travels. These trees are huge now. They're getting bigger and bigger. Like you think like mini redwoods, massive big red trunks with dark kind of emerald leaf and vines that are kind of wrapped around them, and they stretch skyward. You look up and you can't see past the canopy. And the air here is heavy, but it's not. It's there's a mustiness to it in parts. But as you move through, it's kind of thick to breathe. Oh, we lost Kim there. There we go.
There.
Back. It's very thick and it's not that it's difficult to breathe, but you can definitely feel the heaviness of it. The group are moving slower at this point, and you see that they're more attentive to the general surroundings. They're making sure that they're listening out, and they're very much more looking outwards than looking at the four of you.
Can I get up, like, in a non-threatening way near to my nearest guard, and in the most non-combative way possible, go, is that something you have to deal with a lot?
Give me a persuasion check to see if he even acknowledges you there.
Okay. Oh, poor. Sorry, I've got the Zoom and D&D Beyond in two different windows. Right. Oh, God damn it, 9.
He he's half distracted by what he's doing, and half is like, yes, there are plenty of things in the forest that could kill us. Of course, we have to be careful. And he kind of just keeps looking. He's kind of half answering you and not really paying attention to you as he looks out, trying to peer through this very thick tree line. And again, once more, you hear a heavy thudding and movement off in the distance slightly. Now, away from you, it's not near you. And it causes them to pause for a second, and then they keep moving. And you're winding your way through. And there's now like thick vines and fallen logs and underbrush here that you're traipsing through. And you're kind of looking around. And Elevar is kind of huffing a bit, and he's like, how far into this damn blasted forest is she going to take us? And you just hear like, sister, is there a pit stop anywhere here soon? We haven't even had breakfast. As he kind of calls up the rank and file. And some of the guards do look back at him and look a bit puzzled, as if they're like, should they answer, shouldn't they answer? And as at that point, it's like, you just hear a voice from the front of the line. It's like, we will rest soon, dear brother. Your weak stomach will have to wait just a little bit longer, and then you will be fed. And there's a bit of venom in the voice, a little bit of venom. Like it's taunting and a little bit of venom. Is there anything you want to do in this moment? Anything else you want to do here?
I'm going to turn to Elevar and say, absolute sweetheart, your sister. Not.
My family are all, we definitely have a personality style, for sure. Not all sunshine and lollipops and stuff, We're a bitter people. We're royalty, dear. We're royalty.
Remind me, when was the last time you two saw each other?
Let me see now. He looks like he's doing maths in his head. I'd say about the best part of 70 cycles.
Oh, Lord.
So what you're saying is it's been a while.
It has.
Long-time watchers will have it's been a while on their bingo sheet, and also Wayne leads the characters somewhere dank. That's the free square.
Yeah, there has to be dank. Love a bit of dank. It's all that 80s horror.
I presume, can I perceive that this forest is as magically charged as the rest of Verconia Prime?
Well, so yes. So as you're walking through, as much as the air is heavy.
You want me to roll a perception check?
No. So you felt this as you know from when you landed with your. So in the last episode, we had a moment where Zildara, there was these large crystalline forms that litter the landscape here on Verconia Prime.
Yeah.
Zildara interacted with one of them and was overcome with energies and powers and stuff.
Double damage, baby.
Yeah, you continue to see crystal formations throughout your entire movement here, and they're not as large as the ones you saw, but they are present in the landscape. You see them kind of woven in between the foliage. There are some trees that also have crystalline formations on them. There is one thing you do notice about them as you walk: the deeper you get into the forest, the darker they become, as in darker in color, not light, but they are pulsating. But there's like ones now that have a sickly purplish hue to them, like puce-ish in color almost, and it's milky. There's no clear kind of energy from this crystal. When you look at the swirlings in them, there's kind of like a dark kind of viscous to these crystals, that the energies you give off them, think them as like some kind of weird toxic mushroom, that it kind of equates to that. And these are like leached onto the side of trees, of plants, and the further you get into where you're going, they seem to be more prominent, and they get slightly larger, not like vastly larger. You're talking like maybe the size of a fist, or you do see one as you come into this area that's not so much a clearing, but there's like the trees kind of seem to branch off a bit to the right and to the left, and there's like small patches of dried mossy earth, and in them you see kind of larger, like arm-length crystals that are kind of poking up jagged out of the ground, and they give off that purplish hue, and that seems to light the area here kind of in a sickly glow. There is one thing you do notice, is that all of the guards and Iowa are avoiding them like the fucking plague. They're staying away from them. When they see them, they move in the opposite direction. You are all everyone comes to a stop at this moment, where you in this clearing, where you see the guards kind of actively moving around you, so you're not standing near any of these crystal formations. And Iowa takes out this contraption that you think it looks like a compass at first, but then when she opens it up at the top and then opens it up at the side, there seems to be arcane incantations on them, or arcane scribes on them, and these arcane symbols glow, and she twists dials, like it's in the palm of her hand, but it has like another circular piece that comes out at the side and the circular piece that comes at the top, and there's like kind of a greenish glow off it as she kind of twists dials on it and then moves it around and then looks and checks the tree line and then closes it over and puts it back under her cloak, and then she gestures to the group to move on. As you then make your way, you start to make your way out of this clearing and towards another tree line heading off in a different direction. It's at this moment you hear a blood-curdling, gurglish, not so much a scream, but like it's a mixture between a scream and a growl that seems to echo through the trees. And all the guards then turn on their heels, bows fully knocked, blades out, and they have their backs to you as they kind of all look around, kind of checking the tree line. Iowa has pulled out a long curved blade and she's looking at the tree line.
Looking at the tree.
The tree line, so the trees.
Oh, okay. The trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in the tree.
Sorry, I thought I was going to have to smack the Deku tree there for a minute. All right.
I get that reference.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn to the nearest guard again. Seriously? Now would be the time to take these off. Assuming my hands are in front of me.
Yeah, I try to vouch for Zil, but I might attempt to cast Enthrall on my nearest guard.
So you want to cast Enthrall? Great.
Yeah, on my nearest guard.
Okay. So for the viewers, just read out the Enthrall spell there. Tell me what Enthrall does.
So, sometimes my character has to do something that me personally wouldn't be able to do, but this is not that time. Enthrall. You weave a distracting string of words, causing creatures of your choice that you can see within range and that can hear you make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, here we
Any
go.
creature that can't be charmed succeeds on the saving throw automatically. And if you or your companions are fighting a creature, it has advantage on the save.
It's a wisdom saving throw of 15, so here we go.
Okay, yeah, 15, yep.
I rolled a 7. The guards have a +3, so that's a 10.
10, very good. I got him. So,
you got him.
do you reckon I got more than one?
Well,
anyone who can hear me?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
definitely.
not trying to draw Awa's, interest, so I'm not being as loud as possible.
It's a 60 feet range, so anyone that's in 60 feet, you got a fair chunk of them here. So I'm going to have to roll for at least 5 of them, okay?
Okay,
So
yeah.
The first one failed.
First one failed.
Second one failed.
Okay.
Third one failed.
Keep it going.
Okay, they succeeded.
Okay.
They failed.
It failed. Okay, so now the guy that I failed on, is he gonna stop me in?
It doesn't say that they're aware of it. The spell doesn't say that they notice. On a fail save, target has
and the spell ends if I am incapacitated or can no longer speak. So I am going
just 1 second. It says here, on a fail save, the target has disadvantage on wisdom checks made to perceive any creature other than you until the spell ends or until the target no longer can hear you. So there's no real, you're not doing like, it's all about seeing.
Yeah.
Right? So they can't, they have to, if they're looking to do a perception check or a wisdom. So it's basically disadvantage on wisdom checks made to perceive any creature other than you.
Yeah,
the spell ends.
I'm drawing their focus. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right.
So I'm gonna ask the boys in the sweetest way possible. Hey guys, could you free us so we can help you?
And they're kind of looking at you, and they're like, you see like 4 of the 5 guards that are nearby kind of turn. They're kind of blades out, arrows drawn, and they're kind of looking at you, and they're kind of looking at your binds, and they're looking at each other. And then the 5th guard is like, "What are you lot doing? Keep your eyes on the tree line. What are you doing?" And there's panic in his voice. As the panic hits, all of a sudden, he is grabbed you see these large, spindly claws reach out from the nearest kind of a large kind of area of trees, and they just grab him, and you hear a scream as he's reefed into this large bush that just shakes, and you hear blood-curdling yells.
Oh no.
Oh, Adam, I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve that, and your name is Adam.
But the rest of the guards are kind of looking at you while all this happens. They kind of don't really notice him. But just say for the sake of the spell, and you just see these pincer claws that grabbed it and reached it back. You hear chittering, and you hear, and it's just blood-curdling screams and slashes as something is definitely being carved up in that bush. Obviously, it's the guard.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get these guys to move it on, and then help them refocus on the tree line and square up with them with our weapons, if we can make that happen in a few seconds.
Okay.
Show them that we're here to fight with them and not.
The rest of the guards did notice this, so they all turn, and you see a couple of arrows very deftly just right into the center of the bush, and you hear like as something is hit in there. And you see the kind of the area where the sounds are coming from. There's like a shake, and then there's a blinding flash of movement as it then skitters through the tree line. And then from the other side, you hear another noise. The same blood-curdling thing from the other tree line as more guards turn, and you see more shadows moving, at least 3 or 4 of them, kind of in the tree line, as there seems to be a swarm of something surrounding you.
Oh shit.
Oh, wonderful.
The spell's duration is only a minute. So do you think they've freed us and let us out and gone back to normal?
So here's the thing about the enthrall spell. It doesn't really, it's all about perception. It's not about convincing them to do things.
Right.
A charm spell is what would have done that for you.
Yeah.
Okay? So enthrall is just, they're locked on you, and they can't really, when they go to try and pay attention to something else or try to perceive something else, they have a hard time doing it. So they're locked in on you. If you want to convince them to try and let you out, you're going to have to either convince them and persuade them to do that, but they are enraptured by you. The 4 around you. I will.
I'll give them a little bit of the old razzle dazzle. I'll give them a little speech about how we're here and we're good and we can help them. Will I roll performance?
Yeah, you can roll persuasion.
Persuasion. That's a 17.
A 17.
Nice.
The closest one to you kind of looks around, and he has a kind of a blade in his hand, and it's kind of he starts to, you see him kind of start to hear noises around him. It's like, we could use help for sure. And he kind of cuts the binds on your wrists. The blade slices through them without issue, and your paws, your toe beans, are currently now free. You weren't bound anywhere else. It was just your hands.
Yeah. Right. Very good. So I'm gonna get my bow out. I presume that's the best thing. I'm gonna ask them if this is the best thing for my for the current moment.
Any weapon at all will aid you in this moment. And you see them start to kind of now turn and re-evaluate the kind of the area around them, and 1 or 2 of them notice that their companion, their fellow guard, is gone, and they're looking around, and you can just see a blood trail starting to ooze out from underneath where the bush was. Elevar is now kind of moving forward. Cut my bonds, I can help, as he puts his hand out, and he's going to roll for persuasion. And that is a natural 16, so yes. Nice. And they kind of look like, Your Highness, and they cut the bonds on him.
I'd like to do the same, please.
Yeah, go ahead, roll.
Oh, have I not freed you already, Zilla?
No, but as 22, it's fine.
Yeah, they kind of cut up. Merrick is there, and me. And I'm going to roll for Merrick. Merrick rolled a 1. He rolled. Oh no! They kind of ignore him and just leave him standing there like panicked. His wispy white hair and his pointed beard. He's like, "That's not fair." As he kind of starts looking around to find cover. You look now, as you take this all in, and you see these blurs and shapes, and at the head of it you say Eowa, and she kind of is gesturing to the guards and pointing at tree lines, and you see arrows fly and then you hear kind of gurgling screams as the arrows do hit their mark. These are, you can see now as they move into formation, these are well trained, they know what they're doing. and they seem capable. Iowa kind of barking orders. She looks back and sees 3 of the 4 prisoners now freed, and 4 of her previous 5 guards standing around, not paying attention to you, but looking at the tree line.
Right.
At this moment, I want everyone to roll initiative.
Ooh, we're in, folks.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Okay, let's go.
I'll roll for the guards as a group.
Oh shit! I hate when I roll well on initiative.
Iowa. Okay. Okay, 25 to 20. What'd you get?
24.
Ooh. Great. Okay, 20 to 15. Oh, Iowa. And Elovar. 15 to 10.
10.
10. Okay. Zil. The guards got 8 plus 2. So that's also 10. What's your dex again?
It is +1, 12.
12. They're higher, so they're going to go before you. Okay.
Okay.
So the guards, and then Zil. And poor old Merrick right at the end with his 2. Okay. So, Gray, you see these dark shapes moving in the tree line. You did see a flash of a kind of claws and pincers grab that guard and reef them into kind of a large kind of shrubberish bush. So, what do you want to do in this moment? You can hear and see noises. There are guards firing arrows. Iowa is shouting orders. Elevar is basically looking to get a blade somewhere, because you currently, actually, I should have said this, and apologies, you don't have your weapons.
Yeah, I figured, but I thought I'd take the piss anyway.
Yeah.
If anyone
I
was
am a weapon.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
am a weapon, ma'am. Okay, well, in that case, I am going to attempt to give bardic inspiration to Ewa.
Nice. How do you inspire her?
I'm going to sing. I reckon she's a little bit of a dry shite, so I'm going to do a nice kind of classical, tasteful, haunting air about victories of the past. A fast one, though. We ain't got time for all that. So, yeah. So I'm going to do that.
You riff off a really quick inspirational piece, and she has inspiration, so I'll mark that down.
It starts with the noise. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice. Is there anything else you want to do in the moment?
That's a bonus action. I suppose I could. Yeah, if I got no weapons, I probably should do a spell. Let's do that. I can do something. I'm gonna cast Cloud of Daggers at 2nd level.
Nice.
Just trying to get in a 5-foot cube, just around as many. Myself and Zil anyway. Merrick if he can reach, and guards if they just are close enough.
So are you putting the Cloud of Daggers between you and, say, the tree line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm hoping to get some skittering claws in there.
Grand. Are you putting it into the tree line or just in front of it? Like where you?
Oh yeah, I suppose I could put it. It's a cube 5 feet on each side. Yeah, around us, between us and the tree line.
Okay. So you first cast your inspiration, and then you wave your toe beans in the air, and all of a sudden a cloud of these mythical and magical blades appear and just kind of start slicing through the air. And there's that kind of noise kind of fills the air along with the gurgling and the screeching. And they do catch some of the kind of the tree line. You see wood and chippings and foliage just get kind of shivved everywhere, as it now stands between you and where you saw the creature grab the guard. You do also still continue to hear noises moving around you in the forested area. Do you want to move anywhere, or are you staying put?
No, I'm staying put. I don't know what this shit is.
Cool. Is that the end of your go?
That's the end of my go.
Excellent. So Iowa is up next, and she kind of steps forward, shouts a load of orders at her group, and takes out her blade. She has like a scimitar, which is wickedly curved, and she literally launches herself at the nearest area where she sees a dark shape moving in the forest. You see her not so much disappear, but she plunges the blade into this large bush that's next to her, and you hear a blood-curdling, wicked, guttural kind of scream. And as she kind of twists the scimitar, I'm going to roll to attack. Okay, that's definitely going to hit. Nice. Okay. And that is damage is nope. Okay. Shit damage, 3 damage. But even still, it hit home.
I'll take it.
And she plunges the blade in and twists it, and then you see her pull it sideways. And as she pulls it sideways, you see this large mass move with it and get pulled out of the bush and into the light as it is where you are. What you see is a writhing mass of flesh with spindly legs and arms and bulbous red eyes, kind of weird tendrils that poke out the top of its head. It has 6 spider-like legs or appendages and a bulbous back that is covered in what look like kind of see-through boils. Its translucent skin, which is kind of like white and silvery, is viscous and slick. It has kind of jagged fangs in its mouth and a long lashing tongue. There's one thing about it as well you do notice, and Zil, you see it as well, pretty much straight away. Its entire body seems to be also covered in these purplish crystals. Like it's somehow they're growing on it. It moves forward, and you see kind of goo and saliva and viscous kind of moving out of its mouth from its injury, and you see the blade is buried kind of halfway under its abdomen. And Iowa pulls it out, and there's a flick of ichor on the kind of the forest ground. It kind of reels back, swinging its kind of forelegs, which have wicked pincers on the front. Think kind of like a big giant white spiderish looking thing. And I'll put up a picture for the viewers below. It is for anyone that's wondering. It's called a Neh Thalggu, Thalggu. These are kind of aberrations that kind of move through the void and land on planets and kind of infested and stuff. They're kind of spiderish creatures. They feed on brains. But they're vicious and horrible, and there now seems to be a swarm of them surrounding you in this forest. But they're also covered in this purplish crystalline form as well. So that's what gets pulled out into sharp relief into the center of the area by Iowa, and it gives the other guards targets. So that's her first attack. Let me see now. Sorry, bringing up her character sheet. That's her first attack. Clear all there. Bonus action. She has 2 attacks. She's going to strike again with her blade. That one misses. As she brings the blade up after pulling it out, this creature moves quickly and just sidles to the side, missing the blade. And then she's going to bonus action Hunter's Mark it. So Hunter's Mark, what that does, if she puts you'll always have a Hunter's Mark spell prepared as a ranger. Basically, what Hunter's Mark does allows you. Let me see now. Why isn't that coming up? Sorry, it's not giving me the explanation for Hunter's Mark for some reason, but she puts a Hunter's Mark on it so she can basically track where it is. Let me see. She should have actually done that at the start of her turn, but I forgot. So it has a Hunter's Mark on it, so she'll get extra damage every time she hits it. Okay, that is the end of Iowa's go. It is now into Alavar. Alavar steps up. He has no weaponry. He hasn't got any blades. So essentially, he's just going to cast Eldritch Blast. So he just reaches out, seeing this creature, seeing his sister pull this creature out into the light, he just reaches forward, Eldritch Blast straight into it. That is going to hit And he hits it for 4 points of damage. Let me see. So the Eldritch Blast streaks out and catches the creature kind of in its side as it tries to duck out of the way of Aowa. And it basically blasts off its carapace, and you see kind of a flash, and the purplish crystals, somehow they seem to kind of absorb the energy a wee bit. It does a bit of damage to it, but not as much as Elevar would have hoped. As he kind of starts maneuvering himself, checking behind him with the cloud of daggers, then maneuvering himself to take another shot on his next turn. That is the end of Elevar. It is now into the guards. They're going to rally, and each of them are going to fire some arrows at the creature in front of them, but also into the bushes. Nat 20 for the first guard as it fires his arrows. Okay, that is 12 points of damage as a kind of a spray of arrows hit the creature. And you see them now sticking out of its body as it kind of swarms, and there's goo and ichor flicking onto the floor from the wounds. It's still hurt, but you know it's kicking, and it's kind of looking at the group, fucking like hunger in its multi eye sockets across its horrible translucent face. It's at this point then you see two more of them rush into the area as it sees their kind of swarm mate there and present. It fears, fuck it. The two of them rush in. One of them goes straight through the cloud of daggers. So roll damage on the cloud of daggers there, Kim.
Oh, let's do that.
Because these are dumb creatures. They're not good.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I cast that. Damage. Okay, that's 10.
10 points of damage. Nice.
How many of them are they take 10 each, or do I roll again?
No, just the one. So one rushes in, and it's a dumb kind of animal instinct. It just rushes forward, and it shreds itself. You see part of its front talon gets shorn off, and the dagger's cut into its face, and one of its eyes gets slashed. It's like as it kind of sidesteps and moves, and it's now kind of limping towards you. It's hurt, but it's not on death's door. It's taken the damage. Okay. So that's that one. So they're moving into the sphere. Two of the other guards are going to rush forward towards the creature that was attacked by Aowa, and they're going to swing their blades. First one misses. That's going to hit. Okay. My dice. And well, since I rolled these dice. Oh, that's a good one. That is 8 points of damage. Okay. As it slides its blade up, and it kind of carves up along kind of its back hindquarters. You see this guard cut into it as this kind of long, thin blade slices into it easily, and a large chunk of its flesh that's cut to the ground. It's kind of screaming. Another guard is going to take another shot with its arrows now at the ones that are coming towards you. These are the cards with you. It's cocked. Okay, it's 11 plus. That hits. That just hits. And that's going to hit for 7 points of damage. Okay, that's the guards' move. I've kind of rolled for them as a group and amalgamated their damage together because I'm not going to be rolling for like 25 guards. So, Zil, it's into you. What do you want to do?
Okay, I think Zil is going to go for ultra reliable magic missile.
Nice.
So there's the one that ran into the cloud of daggers. How close is that one to us now?
It's pretty close. It's right on you. Kind of they're moving. The two that came in, one is kind of off to your right. The one that's been damaged by the cloud of daggers is now moving around to your left, but it is quite close.
Okay. I'm gonna cast it at where is it gone? Second level, so I get 4 darts, and I'm gonna hit the two nearest beasties.
Awesome.
They're gonna get 2 darts each.
Nice.
So I'm gonna roll these physically because it's painful to do it on D&D Beyond. And also, I like rolling dice.
Yeah, click clacks.
6 and 7.
6 and 7. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. You watch as Zill kind of unleashes the darts. As the impact on both of them. The one that's already been hit by the cloud of daggers kind of recoils back, and you see the scorch marks up along its body. The other one it's the first damage is taken, and they kind of ricochet off, and it kind of drags their attention across to you as they were rushing towards guards, and they kind of see as the missiles streak in and hit its body. It kind of turns on you, Zilzara, and sees you, and then kind of starts moving towards, shambling as its claws kind of rake the dirt and the ground below it. It's kind of a spittle just flicks through the air, and it rushes towards you.
As a bonus action, can I do a Misty Step?
You can indeed.
Misty Step, I think, is 30 feet. I'd like to go up high, please, to a vantage point.
Yeah, of course.
It's gonna fucking Misty Step up there.
Nice, yeah, 30 feet indeed. So do you want to go up into a tree?
Into the trees. Yeah.
You and me.
Into the trees. You and me. Yes.
So you, as this creature's rushing,
I'm gonna bamf.
Yeah, you literally bamf, and there's like a puff of kind of acrid like smoke, sulfur, as Zilzara is all of a sudden, and you're now up on a tree line looking down, and from your vantage point where you are, you now see that the surrounding areas, while there are 3 of the creatures in, there's another 3 to 4 of them rustling in around you. There's
wonderful.
7 in total that seem to be invading in. They're moving in on this area, and you can make out the glowing purple crystals on their back, and their skittering forms as they're moving through the dense forest. And you see then the group are very much surrounded because they're on all sides of you.
Can I telepathically tell Gray?
Yeah.
Once I've gone up there.
Yeah, because as we've established previously, that telepathic link that you both have, due to your tattoos, has become stronger, and you've become able to control it at will. So, Gray, you hear in your mind Zill's voice instructing you.
I'm just gonna go, Gray, there's 7. 3 near, 4 around us. Be ready.
Oh my god. Okay. Just for people, I just want to check a D&D fact here, Wayne. Despite the fact that all the monsters we fight are slimy, jaggy-toothed, and generally Cronenbergian, quite a lot of D&D monsters have fur, don't they? Yeah, there's a lot of cuddly D&D monsters.
Maybe one day you'll fight them. Maybe
one day we'll tame another owlbear.
Maybe.
So, yeah, no, just checking. So, right, now I know how many there are. I also know they can die, and that. So what am I going to do? So I was trying to stay in my cloud of daggers.
It's Merrick's turn now.
Yeah, I'm just,
So Merrick kind of in his usual sense
out loud.
Is there. Yes, no, it's okay. Merrick is there with his hand still cuffed. He's like, what am I expected to do in this moment? And he kind of looks around as the creature moves towards him, the closest one that has been hit by the daggers, hit by the magic missiles, and it's moving in close, and he's quite close to it. So he just basically puts his hands up, trips, and falls, and his hands go on the creature, and he casts Inflict Wounds. And that is, that's 24 to hit.
Oh, Merrick!
All right, and he's casting it, and it is 3d10.
Nice.
That is a very good roll. That is 19 into this creature. As he kind of casts as a blinding flash, he kind of trips and falls and kind of like, oh shit! And you just see him go whoop, and his hands hit the creature, and they're kind of stuck to it with the sliminess of its skin. And then you see this pulse of white light as these veins kind of pulse through it, and some of the crystals just burst, and there's like a burst of like purple energy. And Merrick is like, ah! And he kind of falls back on his arse as the creature like, ah! rails back. It's kind of large, spindly legs and arms kind of flailing in the air as this white light moves through its body, and you see cracks in its carapace. And it's definitely been damaged, definitely been hurt. It's not looking like it's on death's door yet, but it is hurt, and it's got multiple wounds from different kind of sources all over its body. Merrick is like, ah! As he tries to move back, and I'm going to use his movement to kind of shuffle back through the dirt as he tries to avoid the cloud of daggers, and he rolls. Think Merry and Pippin as they're kind of avoiding the Rohirrim as they kill the kind of the Uruk-hai sort of situation. He's just rolling around on the ground as all this shit's happening around him. But he's managed to do a pretty good hit for him. So fair play to him. Now it's into you, Gray.
Okay. I'm going to have to get clever about this because I thought I was just going to stay in my little dagger hut. And I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. This time, let's get rid of that roll. Okay. I'm going to attempt confusion on them because I got no weapons.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. She says that, and then she gets rid of the screen. Okay, I'm gonna try confusion at 4th level.
Okay.
So this spell assaults and twists creatures' minds, spawning delusions and provoking uncontrolled action. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range must succeed on a wisdom saving throw when you cast the spell or will be affected by it. An affected target can't take reactions and must roll a d10 at the start of its turn to determine its behavior for that turn.
Okay.
At the end of each turn, the affected target can make a wisdom saving throw. If it succeeds, the effect is over. So, yeah. So I don't want to get the guards in here. So I'm gonna, given what Zill has told me about where these things are,
yeah,
I'm gonna try and.
Well, here's what I'll say. Because it was telepathic and because it's Zill and you,
yeah,
I will allow for you. This is a bit of flavor on the moment. Okay. As Zill is relaying this to you, relaying that information to you, because this all happened in a split second. You see through Zill's eyes. You know where they are.
Hell yeah.
So Zill looks down, takes them all in, tells you, and you instinctively all of a sudden know.
I'm the crow.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially.
Thank you for that kindness, DM. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to center it where it'll get no guards, but as many of these boys as I can. It's it's a 10-foot radius sphere, so
that's fine.
Yeah.
Get him.
You can cast it up to 90 feet, so you can point it out in the direction of the tree line where you know there's definitely 2 of these creatures huddled together, because that will be 2 of them together. So yeah, and the great thing is this spell has kind of the affected target can't take reactions. It must roll a d10 at the start of each of its turn to determine its behavior for that turn. So I have to roll a d10 when I'm doing stuff with that character. So yes, interesting. So it's a wisdom save. These creatures do not have any wisdom modifiers, so it's a flat roll.
Right. Didn't think so.
It's a wisdom saving throw of 15. I rolled a 12.
Okay.
So you got both of the creatures. So you know instinctively, you don't like. There's a moment of just pure coolness. You don't even look, and you just cast your toe beans off in one direction, and the spell engages, and you feel it get purchase on the minds of these creatures, and you touch their minds slightly, and you just feel in the back of your mind as your fur stands on end this unadulterated evil and twistedness and hunger that just right on the kind of the surface of your subconscious, and then it's gone again. But then you just hear confused as they kind of bump into each other, and there's like a rushing and movement in the distance of the tree line as these creatures were charging towards you are now highly confused. And I will roll on their turn.
Yeah,
they will roll in. They will roll
what
in
they'll do.
The other creatures. I will roll the d10 to see what happens to those 2 individual creatures. because they were coming in on the next round of combat, which is coming up now in a minute.
Okay.
So, Iowa, is that the end of your go, Gray? Is there anything else you want to do?
I'm gonna do. I might do. What can I? Sorry, I'm going to.
So your bonus, you can move, or you've got a bonus action still. You've got like three uses of bardic inspiration. You've already given one to Iowa, which she has.
I'm thinking of doing one for Zill.
Okay, cool.
Ooh.
So Zill, take your 1d8 bardic inspiration there.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's it, Wayne.
So Iowa, now feeling inspired from your previous inspiration, turns on this creature that has taken a bit of damage, and she's going to put away her let me see now. She puts away her scimitar, and she turns and takes out a long, beautiful, ornate bow that was strapped to her back, and knocks it with a multitude of arrows. And she turns close range and fires on this creature. She also has her hunter's mark on this as well. So she is going to roll to hit. That is definitely going to hit. That's a 16 plus 8. This is a iridium longbow. This weapon has a dull, rusty color and has veins of iridium running through it. With this weapon on you, personally gain the following benefits. You can breathe in water. You gain swimming speed equal to walking speed. Iridium strike. A creature you hit with this weapon takes an extra 2d6 psychic damage. So let me just check and see, does this creature have any immunities? It is not immune. Oh, that's the wrong one. Nope, it doesn't have any immunities to psychic damage, so it takes the extra 2d6. So, let's see now. So it's an initial 1d8 plus 2. So it's 8 points of damage into that creature. This creature's looking hurt. Plus an additional 2d6 psychic. That is 11 points of damage as the bow and the arrows strike, catching it right in the center. You see it reel back, and then all of a sudden, its entire kind of cranium area just seems to shudder because the skin is translucent and flopping about the place, and it has this pustules on top of it as its mind is assaulted by the additional 11 points of psychic damage. It kind of rides back, kind of tripping on itself, falling. It is looking hurt. It's still very much up, but it's looking quite hurt now. Its kind of glistening red eyes are flicking back and forth. There's panic and fear in its face, if you could read its face of pure, unadulterated bleh. Okay, that is the end of Iowa. It's now Elevar. Elevar once more is going to turn. Now, he has... What's this now? Okay, that's not something he can do. Okay, so he's going to look and see what spells has he got here. He is going to cast... Clear this. He is going to cast Thunderwave. As he pulls his arms back, kind of turning to the creature that's next to you that Merrick has just kind of laid hands on. And he just basically brings his arms together and slaps them like Hulk style, and casts Thunderwave. A wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. He's moved, so you are not in that radius. Essentially, he's aiming it directly at the creatures, the one creature that's in front of him. So they have to make a con save. Constitution on this fucker. It's +4 to con. Yeah. It still fails. That's a 12. I rolled an 8 +4. It's 12. So they definitely fail. It's con save of 17. So they take 2. Where's it gone? 2d8 thunder damage. It's rolling forever. 15. Nice. As the wave of thunder energy just gushes forward and catches this creature, nearly knocks it backwards onto its hind legs, spindly legs. as it catches it, and it like kind of rocks back, and you see kind of its jowls wobbling, and kind of the undulating mass on its back, and some of the crystals kind of crack as it kind of gets pushed back. A lot of the foliage and dirt on the ground getting pushed back with it as it moves away. Let me see now. There is a cacophonous boom in this area as the trees are pushed back and they're moving, because it's within it's 300 feet. It just echoes out, and you do hear a high-pitched kind of like from the creatures that are in the bushes. That is the end of Elevar's go. It is now the guards' turn. The guards all now continue to fire their arrows and shoot their. That's going to miss. That's going to miss. Jesus. It's not hit. That hits. Okay. With the cacophonous boom from Elevar kind of emanating through the forest, they kind of a lot of the arrows go off kilter, but the one that moves in on the creature next to Iowa brings their blade up and cuts into its belly and slices along, and you see kind of white viscous entrails fall out and flop onto the kind of the forest floor as it's like it's clearly in severe pain at this stage. This one is looking very hurt because I got max damage on that roll. Okay.
Nice.
Why it gotta be white? White is the most disgusting color for entrails. Like Alien went off with that.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
I actually forgot to mark down in the fucking stupid me in all the excitement. Forgot to mark where the creatures were going. Okay, so this is where the creatures are going to go full attack. You see then emerging from the kind of outskirts of this area, from the tree line, more creatures. The two that you cursed with the confusion. Where's my D10 gun? Okay, I'm going to roll to see what happens. So on this spell, where is it gone? What was the name of that spell again?
Mine?
Yeah.
Confusion.
Confusion. I'm trying to find it here now. There it is. Confusion. So, I have to roll a d10. If I roll a 1, the creature uses all of its movement to move in a random direction. To determine the direction, roll a d8 and assign a direction to each die face.
Yeah.
2 to 6, the creature doesn't move or take actions on this turn. 7 to 8, the creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. If there was no creature within its reach, the creature does nothing this turn. 9 to 10, the creature can act and move normally. So I'm going to roll for the first one, okay? That is an 8. The creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. The only creature within its reach is its fellow creature. So it's going to attack.
Yay! I was hoping
okay. The second one. I rolled a 4. The creature doesn't move or take any actions this turn. Okay, so it's going to attack its fellow creature first. It's confused as fuck. So what it's going to do is, let me see. It is going to cast. Okay, let me see. How many spells have I got here?
Excuse me.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Roll it. One of you roll a D. Kim, it's your spell. Roll a D12 for me, please.
D12. 7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to cast invisibility on its fellow creature.
No, not that. Not that.
Okay, so it's a spell save of DC 11 I have to cast.
That is the act of a confused creature.
This creature can cast spells, and it's severely confused at the moment, and it turns to attack its creature. I just got you to roll randomly. The 7th spell along is invisibility, so it's a DC. I have to roll a spell save of a DC 11, and I did roll it. I rolled a 7 on the dice, and so it's got a plus. Yeah, it doesn't make it. So you watch as this creature turns, its confusion. You see its tendrils twitch and the jowls kind of as you see its eyes roll back in its kind of mycelial head, and the other creature beside it vanishes. So there's now an invisible one of these roaming around the place, but it can't do anything in its turn. So that's those two. The creature that has been thunder waved is going to rush in and try and attack Elevar. It's going to take a multi-attack. Oh, that's going to hit. And that's going to hit. Okay. Where's my D8s? Okay, Elvar takes 16 points of damage as that hits. As the creature just slashes into him with its pincer claws, striking down into him as he's got his armor on, but he's got no weaponry. As he kind of tries to turn after doing Thunderwave, it rushes forward and just starts hacking into him. And so you just hear his cries of pain as it slashes down into him. The next one close to that is going to turn and is going to move in on you, Gray.
No!
It turns on you and it is going to cast a Mind Blast. The Netal Goo magically emits psychic energy at one humanoid you can see within 10 feet. The target must make a DC Wisdom saving throw of 14. On a failed save, the target takes 2d8 psychic damage and is incapacitated until the end of its next turn.
Ew.
On a successful save, it takes half damage and isn't incapacitated. So make a
Which
DC
saving throw, Wayne? Wisdom?
Wisdom, DC 14.
Okay, you want me to do that?
Please?
Okay. Well, let's just talk about it for another 10 minutes. Oh, it's a 4, baby.
A 4. So you fail.
No.
As this Mind Blast, you after casting your spell, linking with Zildara's mind, you feel this creature move up behind you. You look up as its large, kind of oval red eyes stare down at you, and all of a sudden you feel it pierce your mind, and you are just frozen. You are going to take 2d8 psychic damage.
Oh, shit, son.
6 and a 6. That's 12 psychic damage that just basically pulsates into your mind, and you're just caught with pain, wrath. You cannot move. You are incapacitated until the end of your next turn. Incapacitated.
Oh, great.
So being incapacitated, you can't take any action, bonus action or reaction. Your concentration is broken. You can't speak. So that's pretty much it. So you can't do shit. So you're fucked for one turn. Okay. 1 second.
Poor Gray's got no mind to blow. That's mean.
Okay. So 2 more. So there was a total of 4 out in the kind of the outskirts. 2 more have rushed in and are moving in on the guards. One of them is going to cast Magic Missile on the guards.
Let me
see now. What level does it cast this at? The DC. There's no spell save on this, but it didn't tell me what level these are at. I'm going to say, what is the second level? Just, you have it there in front of you, Zil. Second level Magic Missile.
Yeah.
I don't have it here. Actually, no, hang on. I can click on this. Actually, I can click on this here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I have it. It came up. It took me a minute. Okay. So, you create 3 glowing darts, magical force. At higher levels, when you cast a spell, slot of second or higher, the spell creates 1 or more darts for each slot above first. So it's going to do 4 darts on 4 darts out. So it shoots out the darts, 4 different guards. They all automatically hit. So it's 1d4 force damage.
+1.
Yeah, sorry, +1. So that's 4. That's another 4. That's another 4. Fucking hell. And that's another 4. So they all take 4 points of damage as this creature like just basically stretches out its pincers, the undulating massive boils on its back with those glowing crystals just seems to pulsate, and the missiles just streak out from the ends of its pincers and bang into each of these guards as they get rocked back, nearly leaving their feet as they take the damage. The creature now that's front of Aowa is going to move in on her. Let me see now. What am I going to get to do? I'm going to get it to do its multi-attack on things. That's 2 attacks. That's going to hit. That's also going to hit. So she has 2d8 + 2 piercing damage. Okay, that is 7 + 2. That's 9 points of damage into Aowa. As it strikes down with its kind of jagged jaw and hits her for 9 points of piercing damage. You are getting swarmed pretty badly here. Obviously, one of these creatures is invisible, can't do anything, but they're moving in on you now. Zil, you're still up on the tree. You see all of this unfold underneath you. That was the creature's go. Guards go. Zil, it's now your go.
So the 2 beasties that were attacking Elvar and Grey, can I target them with a magic missile at 4th level, which means they get 3 darts each?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. Take those. Thing. Oh, do it. Properly from there. Oh no, it's only doing them individually. Hold on, let me do it. Break these. Okay. So one of them takes 10 damage.
Ooh.
And
Get him.
The other one takes 12.
12 damage. The magic missiles strike from where you're perched atop the branch. They whiz through, scorching through the kind of the foliage and the canopy that you're in, streaking down, hitting one of the creatures. You watch as it gets rocked back and curls in on itself on its back as it slowly but surely starts to just die. And just you hear the last gurgle as the magic missiles impact into it and knock it over. As this one got fucked up following Marek's lay on hands. The other creature this is the one that's kind of over Grey at the moment after doing the psychic damage on it, and the magic missiles impact on its back, and you see some of the pustules burst and liquid and fluid just fleck out everywhere. Some of the crystals get damaged as well as it kind of turns. It's like and you see it kind of skittering and looking, trying to see where they came from, because obviously it's not looking up into the tree line. Is that the end of your goes, or anything else you want to do?
No, I think that's all for the minute. Thank you.
Cool. It's now Merrick's turn. Merrick is still on the ground, terrified, as he's been rolling back and forth, trying to avoid all kind of shit that's been happening around him. He kind of looks up and sees this creature looming over Grey. As the magic missiles impact and this creature turns, he sees this chance to do an opening, and he's going to cast Guiding Bolt. He basically just, his hands are like this, and he just points at it, and you just see this beam of light emanate from his tip of his finger as he casts Guiding Bolt at the creature. It's +6. That is going to hit. That is a 12 +6. That is definitely going to hit. Yes, definitely. Okay, so damage. Here we go. Guiding Bolt, 4d6. Okay, 7 points of damage into the creature. As the bolt is, you see this like shaft of light hit out. So the next creature that takes an attack, so on a hit, the target takes 4d6 radiant damage. It just did. And the next attack roll made against this target before the end of your next turn has advantage, thanks to its mystical dim light glittering the target until then. So you see this thin beam of light hit it. There's a scorch, and you hear it kind of like in pain, but it then starts to kind of glow. The crystals around its body that are left kind of seem to like emanate and tremble as the light moves through it, and it's kind of skittering, it looks like it's burning partially from the light that's kind of now emanating from this creature. So anyone that does an attack on that creature next has advantage. That is the end of Maris go. Grey, it would be your turn, but you're incapacitated, so we'll go straight to Aowa. You all watch as Aowa reaches into her cloak and pulls out that contraption again and unfolds it really quickly, and just basically places her hand in the center, and you see a bright glow happen, and then she just holds it up in the sky, and it seems to shine like a beacon out into the area. She holds it there for the entirety of her turn, holding off the creature with her blade out, and the light kind of blinding it a wee bit. And that's all it seems to do. It just seems to shine out like a beacon. And that's what she's going to do for her turn.
I can't believe you're doing the sky beam trope, Wayne.
Well, it doesn't go upwards; it's emanating out. Yeah. So it doesn't go up through the canopy.
Okay.
Alavar is going to turn the creature dead in front of him that did slash into him. He picks himself up. He sees his sister do that with the beam of light, and he kind of looks around. He sees that some of the guards, there's a panicked look in their eye as the two more creatures rush in. He looks at himself, looks at Merrick, looks at Grey, incapacitated, and he's going to rush over and cast Cure Wounds on Grey.
Oh, yay!
You are going to heal 18 points of damage.
Hell yeah! I'm back, baby.
Okay, so that's his turn. That's Elevar. I'm going to say the guards go next, then the creatures. So the guards panicked, look at these extra creatures appearing. See that the two out on the outskirts, one that then cast invisibility on its fellow monster. They kind of all look at each other, panicked. They can turn and take shots at. That's a miss. That's a hit. That's a miss. So so one of the hits. So where's my dice? And for anyone that's wondering, I'm rolling these as a group. I'm not rolling them as individuals to save time. Okay, that is that's 6 points of damage into the new creature as the arrows pepper its body, and it kind of brushes some of them off, but it does. Some of them do impact, and it takes 6 points of damage. The creatures now rush forward. Now, question, Gray, for Gray, your spell of confusion.
Yeah.
It is concentration, so you've lost that concentration.
I lost it, yeah.
When you became incapacitated. This creature no longer has to roll to see what it does its thing. So it is going to rush forward at the guards, and it is going to, let me see, cast. Actually, it has already cast a spell, so it cannot cast another one. It is going to do its multi-attack on two of the guards. Oh. That's a crit. That's a crit. First roll is a crit. That's the 20. Second one is not a crit, but it still hits. So the first one, 2d8. 2. Oh. So double the dice. That's 20 plus 2 points of damage as it reaches back and brings its pincers down, slashing into the guards. The guard crumples to the ground, gets pinned, is in immense pain as these pincers jam through its body. The guard is still alive, but he's screaming, and there's blood everywhere, just squirting from the wounds. And he's like, ah! As it's holding him in place. With its other attack, its other multi-attack, which does hit, I'm actually going to get it to bite the guard. As it kind of has him pinned down, and you just see the mouth clamp around it. It wasn't a crit, so it's just one attack.
He's giving him the clamps.
It's 5 points damage. As you watch with the guard pinned to the ground, it reaches down and just bites into his shoulder and tears a large chunk of flesh. The guard is bleeding profusely, screaming in pain, still barely hanging on to life. That is the end of that creature's go. The invisible creature scuttles and moves in, and he's going to have advantage on attacks. Okay. He's going to have advantage on attacks. It's going to move in on other guards, and it's going to do his multi-attack. So I'm going to roll 2d20s on this one. Okay. That's the first attack. It's another natural 20. I should be taking pictures of these. That's another natural 20. So it swings in its first attack. It does hit. That's pretty shit. That is 4 points of damage. As out of nowhere, you just hear a scream as there's a blinding slash. Obviously not blinding, but it's an invisible slash, not blinding slash. Visible slash catches the guard in the back, and then the second one comes up. This is the crit. Oh my god, that's a pretty good roll. Okay, that is 26 points of damage. As the second one, you just see one of the guards get impaled by a pincer and lifted up off the ground. The blood kind of coloring the pincer, you can now see piercing through its chest as he's looking down at it in horror, as he's lifted off the ground by nothing. And you can just, as the blood starts to kind of ooze down, you can see making the outline of this long, spindly arm. He's still alive as the creature kind of picks him up and shakes him about. You see he drops his weaponry and starts to scream. I'm going to do something here. So I'm going to roll for the guards to see if they become demoralized, because this is quite a kind of a terrifying moment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just roll something here. Let's see now. It's a pretty shit roll. Yeah. So you see a couple of the guards surrounding that. These are the guards that are near Aowa who are kind of moving in with her. Two of them kind of turn and start making a movement towards the tree line. They run scared. They are moving out of the kind of range of the creature. So it gets an attack of opportunity.
Oh, God.
That's not going to hit. And that one does hit. And it hits them for 12 points of damage. As they take a slash across the back, and you see them start to stumble, and there's blood flicking along the ground. They look terrified as this invisible monstrosity is now starting to pick them apart. That is the end of the creatures. Oh, did I do all the creatures? I did 2 over there. No, there's one left. There's one left with an Aowa. It's moving in an Aowa. She's holding up the beacon. It's going to attack her. It does hit, multi-attack. First one hits. Hits her for 9. Second attack also hits her for 12. Aowa trying to keep this beacon aloft. This creature moves in behind her, starts slashing down on top of her. She takes the 2 hits. You see her cloak get shredded, and there's a flick of blood. And she's like, and winces, goes down on one knee, but she's holding up the beacon. That is the end of the creatures go. Zill, it's into you.
Oh, fuck them up, Zill. Fuck them up.
So that invisible creature has blood on its legs now, right?
You can
see it.
You can see that it's holding the guard in the air with its impaled kind of pincer through its chest. And
so I can deduce where its body is.
I will say you could, yes.
Do you need me to roll for it?
No.
Okay. Right. I would like to cast some more magic missiles.
Death from above.
Death from above. So fuck it. I have one 5th level spell slot. That will be 7 darts.
Jesus. All into this one creature.
I'm gonna send 4 that way.
Mm-hmm.
And where is the next mischievous one? How many are left?
You've killed 1.
There's 1.
You've killed 1. There's 7 in total. So you've killed the 6.
Sorry, I thought we had 7 to start.
The 7 to start.
Oh, okay,
so
there's 6 left.
There's 6 left.
So there's the invisible guy and
there's 5 others.
Okay. Invisible guy can have 3. And the 2 of them, if there is one near Bray and Eliver still.
Yeah.
Each of those can get 2 each.
Okay.
So that's 7.
Okay. So give us your damage.
Damage. Okay. So, invisible guy, I'll have 12.
Okay.
Ray's guy shall have 8.
Okay. Now, actually, you don't even need it because you don't need advantage on this. They just automatically hit, so he gets 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Elivar's guy shall get 6.
6. Okay. Okay. Good stuff. Good. So the magic missiles off. The creature that you hit that has the invisibility, there's like flashes, and you can see the outline of its body through the flashes of the energy as the arcane and the crystalline forms on its back glow, and you get to see its kind of weirdly outlined form that kind of glows with the impact of the damage. He kind of, with the damage, he drops the guard who's been impaled, who kind of flops to the floor weakly. He's kind of bleeding out of the wound in his chest. And the other 2 are still making for the tree line and scarpering. Is there anything else you want to do in this moment?
As a bonus action, I would like to convert 7 sorcery points to a 5th level spell. So now I still have a 5th level spell slot.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Go for it.
That's the first time I've converted sorcery points.
There you go.
Yeah.
So is the easiest thing, Wayne, to just untick my 5th level spell slot on D&D Beyond, or do you want me to note it elsewhere, or what's the handiest?
Well, you've just given yourself back one, haven't you?
Yeah, so I just cast a 5th level spell. So now I've given myself back a slot, so I'll just untick that slot.
Untick the slot. Yeah.
Grand. Perfect. Okay, cool.
Untick my slot.
Dirt.
Cast it again. Anyway.
Oh my god.
So
we are so back, people. We are back.
I know. Back. I do still have a couple of sorcery points hanging around in the background. Cool. But yeah, like at most I'll get one first level spell.
Yeah. Cool. So that's the end of Zill's go. It's now Merrick's go. Merrick turns and looks at the creature that he shot guiding bolt at, that's now turning on Grey. And in a very un-Merrick-like form, in a level of bravery that usually he doesn't. It's usually pratfalls and weirdness. He manages to pull himself up and rushes forward, kind of hands outstretched. He's like, "Ah!" A look of pure terror on his face, because it worked the last time. He's going to try and get close to the creature, get right up on it and touch it and cast Inflict Wounds again. That is a 13. That just misses. Because their AC... Actually, no, it does. It misses by... No, that's the wrong one. It misses by 1. It's the AC is 14.
Dang it.
As he goes to put his hands on the creature kind of sidesteps and lifts its hand. It's like you see its pincer move up, and it kind of shoulder nudges Merrick, and he's like, "Ah!" And he just kind of falls. His glowing hands for Inflict Wounds kind of trailing up into the air behind him as he trips and falls into kind of like the foliage on the ground, and the creature is now looming over him. That is the end of Merrick's go. He kind of failed at that. There's not much else. We see what's his bonus action. He is going to cast Spiritual Weapon as his bonus action. As you see a kind of a large wood cutting axe, because he's in the woods, he's, whatever, kind of appears above the creature behind it, just out of nowhere. As he looks up, he's just like, and casts the spell. So a massive woodsman's axe is floating in the air above the creature as he casts Spiritual Weapon. Let me see now. When you cast a spell, you can make a melee attack, spell attack against the creature within 5 feet of the weapon. So he's cast it as a bonus action. As a bonus action, in turn, you can move the weapon. Blah, blah, blah. Does the spiritual weapon attack as soon as you cast it? So if you create
spiritual weapon, that's what the locals knew Mother Teresa as.
Hey! You create a floating spiritual weapon within range that lasts for a duration until you cast the spell again. When you cast the spell, you can make a melee attack spell, a melee spell attack against the creature in 5 feet. So it's a bonus action to cast it. I'm going to say he can cast it, so it's going to attack. So let's see it attack the creature.
Get it.
That definitely gets it. Hits a 22. It does a shitty 4 points of damage. And it is force damage, I believe. Yeah. Okay. As the woodsman's axe comes up and just strikes into the back of the creature, one of its pustules on its back just bursts, and ichor is flopping over the back of it. And it kind of like reels back as it looks up, confused as this massive woodsman's axe floating in the air. And that is the end of Merrick's go. He managed to hit something. Grey.
Yay. Okay, I'm going to try to use bestow curse on one of the guys near to me.
Okay.
And I see. It
is touch, so you kind of have to get up on it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get up on it, but he was at me anyway, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to touch that creature. The creature must succeed a wisdom saving throw or become cursed for the duration of the spell. And the duration of the spell is
1 minute.
Some time. Yeah, up to 10 minutes. Okay.
Up to 1 minute. I rolled. It failed. So you get to choose an ability score while cursed. The target has disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws made with that ability score. While cursed, the target has disadvantage on attack rolls against you. While cursed, the target must make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turns. If it fails, it wastes its action that turn doing nothing. While the target is cursed,
Yeah.
your attacks and spells deal an extra 1d8 necrotic damage against the target. It's pretty powerful.
So I'm gonna do that, and then let me just check if I can do the thing I want to do. Let me see if I can do the thing I want to do.
So you've cast the spell. That is your action.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I can do that.
So what attribute do you want to curse?
I'm gonna. Ooh, if he takes damage, it's only for me.
Yes, but there's an attribute that you have to curse. So if I make rolls with that particular attribute, they're at disadvantage.
Oh yeah, sorry for the first part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to get him to fuck up his attack rolls. Can I do that?
Well, you can do his strength if you wish. Strength, so it's checks and saves. So not his attack roll. So it's you can pick Dex, Strength, int, Wisdom, or Charisma. I'll tell you now. I have a -1 to Dex. I have a +0 to Wisdom, -2 to Charisma. So, like, depending on what you want me to do here, you could say, well, if you need to make a strength check or a saving throw with disadvantage, or if you want, I've been making a few wisdom saves with these guys.
Yeah.
So you could go with wisdom. That's just to give you some
wisdom.
guidance. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because he's going to be he's going to be doing wisdom saves from me.
Exactly. Okay. Good stuff. Right. So, all your attacks against it as well do extra damage. So it's a really good spell.
Yeah, for all I can do, but that's going to wait.
Good stuff. That's the end of Grey. It's now Iowa. Iowa's taking a bit of damage at this point. She shuts the beacon, puts it back into her breast pocket or into her cloak, and then whips out her bow and arrow or longbow once more. Close range at the creature next to her is going to take a shot into her, into it. That is going to hit. And that's a natural 20. So the first one does 4 damage plus 2d6. That is 10. So that's the first attack. Sorry, was it 2d6 4 plus 10? 14 points of damage. This thing is looking fucked up. And then the next one is the crit. So it does. Roll this again on the digital. This is doubled. So that's 16 points of damage plus 2, which is 18 points of damage. Plus, see the dice. The dice is doubled. So I get to roll the 2d6 and double that as well. So that's 16 plus 2, 18 points of damage plus that is another 16 points of damage. Jesus Christ. So she unloads like close range.
What was that, 34?
Quick succession into this creature. You watch as these Ridium longbow glitters in the kind of like the gloom of this forest as these flashes of light streak into this creature, going up through its jaw, piercing out through 2 of its eyes, as you see, and starts choking on its own blood and viscous that leak from the eyes as it trips back and then drops, twitching. The crystalline forms on its back start to and then fade as the creature dies. That is the end of her go. It's now into Elevar. Elevar is next to Grey, and he picks up. He sees Merrick getting attacked by this creature. He's going to turn and is going to cast Eldritch Blast on it. So 1 second now. Eldritch Blast. Oh, that's going to hit. That is a 26. Oh, fucking hell, that shit. 1 damage. 1 damage.
Oh, for God's
Wow.
sake.
So he casts out Eldritch Blast, trying to save his cleric friend. The blast impacts and barely does any damage. The creature kind of twitches a bit and kind of gives a glance sideways, still focusing mainly on Merrick. That is the end of Elavar's go. It's now the guards. A few of them are fleeing. There are a few twitching. The guy that's on the ground is bleeding out profusely. And I'm going to say he's going to basically just continue to bleed as this creature leans over him. The other ones are going to turn their arrows on it and attack. That's going to miss. That's going to miss. And that's going to miss. A 3, a 2, and a 1. That's what I rolled. A 3, a 2, and a 1. My God. The arrows miss. The lone guard next to Aowa, who's left with his blade, rushes forward and tries to strike into the invisible creature because he can see where the blood is still on the pincer. He strikes out at the pincer. That's going to hit. Okay. 4 damage as he strikes up and slices into the pincer. Whitish ichor flickers across the ground. It's now the creature's attack. So we still have us 2 dead and a 7. We still have 5 creatures left. The one there's 2 that's closest to Grey, Elavar, and Merrick. The one that's kind of over Merrick is going to do a multi-attack on him. That's going to hit. That is not going to hit. The second one didn't hit. The first one did. That is 2d8. That is plus 12 points of damage into Merrick as it strikes down on him with his pincers on that attack. Where's Merrick's character sheet? There he is. 12. Oh. Damage. Okay. Merrick is like, oh, you hear this like squeal as the pincers kind of slash into him, and he takes the damage. Zilzara, it's now in. Sorry, no, that was only the first creature. The other 4. The invisible creature is still alive. It starts moving in on Aowa. He still has it. He kind of wouldn't. He doesn't have advantage because you can see the blood now on the creature. So he's going to do a multi-attack. That one hits, and that one doesn't hit. So the first attack. Oh, that's pretty good. 2 is 14 points of damage into Aowa. Oh my God. She's taken a few schleps. She's still up. Damage. As this invisible creature slashes into her as she kind of takes down the other one with her bow and arrow. That is that creature. That's 2. There's 3 left. 1 turns on you, Grey, and is going to do a multi-attack because they still haven't gotten an idea that Zill is up in the trees. They just saw her disappear and they're too dumb to start go looking. Okay, that is into you. That is a 16.
Misses.
That's the first attack. Second attack. Okay, that's probably going to hit. That's an 18 plus 4. That's got you. Okay, so this is 2d8 plus 2. That is 11 points of piercing damage into you as one of the pincers come down and strikes into you. So 11 points of piercing damage. So many is that now? But I think there's 1 creature left. Okay, I'm going to roll perception on this creature to see if it's noticed where these magic missiles are coming from. Did you say... Hang on.
Wisdom.
Wisdom, okay. Yeah, so I had disadvantage on wisdom saves, isn't it? Or wisdom checks?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's... let me see now.
It's not against you, though, is it? It's just in general.
General.
Yeah. Okay, that it doesn't. It kind of tries to look into the tree line. I rolled really badly. It looks to look into the tree line to see if it can sense where those magic missiles are coming from. I'm not seeing anything is going to attack the nearest creature.
Stop looking in the tree line. It's directly up.
Oh yeah, it doesn't know. Like it's going to turn its attention on Elavar and take a swipe at him. That's going to miss, and that's going to miss. Both shitty rolls. As it kind of looks up and it's like absent-mindedly doing this. That is the end of the creature's go. Zill, it's into you.
Okay. How are my buddies faring at the moment?
Gray's taking a bit of damage.
Boy. Yeah,
Okay.
boy. Help ya, boy.
Okay. So she's just on one when it comes to the magic missiles today. They are the most reliable ranged attack she has. Like, she has other ranged attacks, but they require attack rolls.
Yeah.
And they can always fail. So I'm gonna go with magic missile at 4th level, so that's 6 darts. 3 to the beastie nearest Grey again,
Okay.
and 3 to the one near Eliver.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. Oh, I forgot I had some bardic inspo that I haven't used.
Can you put bardic inspiration on damage? I think it's just for checks and saves, isn't it? Am I right in saying that? Let me just check. Sorry, apologies.
You probably are.
1d8 for 10 minutes. Creature can add 1 ability check, 1 attack roll, or saving throw.
Okay,
So,
that's fine.
Yeah.
13.
10. Go for it.
13 and 13 and 12.
12. Okay. The missiles streak out once more from the canopy of the trees, impacting into these creatures. The one next to Grey that has done damage on Merrick has done damage on Grey. Gets the hit, and it is looking rough as fuck. It's hanging in there. Large chunks of its flesh are now mottled and worn, and there's chunks of holes in it. You can see into its general main part of its body. Two of its right side of its pincers are kind of hanging limp, and the crystalline formations on its back are kind of flickering in and out of light. The pustules that were there undulating are now kind of sagging and soft. It's looking rough as fuck after that hit. The other one, it hasn't taken any damage yet, takes the 12 and kind of immediately turns and starts looking up into the canopies of the trees to see where that attack came from. I am going to roll for perception. I rolled shite again. I rolled a 4. And that isn't the one with the disadvantage, but it's still rolled a 4. Really, really bad. I cannot tell. It's the dumb creature. So that is the end of Zill's go. It comes into Merrick, who has been pierced by the creature. He's now bleeding into his tunic, and he's looking panicked. The color is draining from his face, and he is just going to sit there in panic. As Zill, you hear this first. There was a rustling of leaves and a movement definitely movement coming from just beyond the tree line. And at first you fear it's another one of these creatures, more coming. But then you see a flash of green and another flash of green as a cloak appears and gets pulled back, and you see a shock of white hair. And one after about another 10 to 15 individuals start to surround this area as arrows fly. Scimitars sing through the air and start cutting into these creatures, lopping them down, making short work of them. It's like a beautiful dance of pure and unadulterated carnage as they are cut through. The invisible one dodges them for a bit, but after a while they cotton onto it. See, it's kind of gore-covered pincers, and they zone in on it. Arrows fly again, and you see boom, 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 boom. Iowa joins in. Elivar moves towards them, kind of casting a few spells. Merrick, still panicked, kind of lying on the ground, like, as some of the creatures skitter off and run back into the forested area as reinforcements have now arrived into this space. You see there's now at least another 30 to 40 guards, all swarming into this space. One of them approaches Iowa, and you see like a tall, broad-shouldered, ragged and worn face, kind of sunken kind of jaw, a long pinched nose, very kind of furrowed brow with long eyebrows, kind of car park haircut thing, like definitely kind of balding here, and the hair is tied back tight in a long ponytail that hangs back. This is an older elf for sure, but of the same kind of pinkish complexion, but his skin is a bit more subdued, but his eyes are none more bright. They're still kind of sparkling as he approaches Iowa. And he's like, "We got the signal. How many did we lose?" And he kind of looks around, kind of looking at the carnage that surrounds it. You do see a couple of dead bodies now, the guards that have bled out, that have been attacked. The cars that ran literally disappeared into the tree line, and you don't know whether they're still alive. They just legged it. What's the group doing in this moment?
I'm gonna bamf down and start heading towards Gray to check on him first, and then make a beeline for Merrick. Even though I'm not a healer, I am. Want to see if Gray okay first, and if
Gray's on the move. Merrick. Gray's casting mass cure wounds.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so a wave of healing energy washes out from a point you can see within range. Choose up to 6 creatures in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on that point. They regain hit points equal to 5d8 plus your spell casting modifier.
Nice.
So I'm gonna do that. I should be pretty much out of spell slots by now. Yeah.
And you cast that spell, and it kind of emanates out, and you see Merrick picking himself up, and you see Iowa get healed, and a couple of other soldiers that were hit also get the healing. The elder guard kind of is alert now to seeing these strangers, and then he clocks Elevar, and he's like, "My lord, what is this?" And there's a look of surprise and shock on his face. And Iowa kind of steps in. "We will discuss this when we get to the sanctuary. Everyone pick yourselves up. Leave the dead. We move in haste. We haven't got far to go." And you see then en masse the remainder of the guards start to move and disappear, kind of head off in the direction they came. Cloaks pulled up, hoods up, cloaks pulled around them, and they move at pace. Iowa approaches Elevar and kind of nods. "Held yourself well in a fight. You've learned a few things since I last saw you, brother." And she kind of nods at the two of you and kind of looks at Merrick. "Will your companion be okay?"
It was 21 points of healing.
Nice. Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Oof. She also felt that healing, and she kind of nods and thanks you for it.
Did Elevar get hurt?
Yes, he took some damage.
Okay.
So yeah, but no, that brings him pretty much back up to full health. So fair play.
El self-preservation Mizzruin took no damage, but that's part of the course.
Hiding up in the trees, the shooting missiles. But
aerial support.
Merrick kind of picks himself back up now, fully healed. He's like, apart from my favorite shirt being torn, I survived, I suppose. Are we no longer your prisoners, I suppose, are we? We're going to unbind my hands, and he kind of holds up, being the still the person that still has his hands bound, and kind of begrudgingly, Iowa kind of reaches out with a dagger and just quickly, and he just, and he kind of rubs his wrists as the bindings fall to the ground. And she kind of resheathes the knife, and she goes, "We move at haste. It's not far to travel now. We would have been there sooner only for this mess." And she kind of gestures around and then kind of motions for you to follow her. And she turns and starts moving into the forest area.
Okay. Oh, you want us to have
guess we follow?
About something? I'm just wondering. Like, she's bringing us to a sanctuary, but she brought us through the most fucking dangerous place in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that everybody looks well. I'm hoping I was able to help some of the guards. But I'd say some of them are pretty distressed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna fall in with everybody.
The elder kind of guard falls in step with Elevar, and they kind of start this talking quietly under their breath, whispered, hushed tones as they move quickly. And you're moving at a pace now, and it's about 10-15 minutes where you're moving through this space, and Zil, you feel it first very quickly. There is a huge arcane energy signature here, not too far in front of you. And there's a moment where you see the collective group of this troop now stop in a kind of a curved line in this area, and Iowa moves forward and takes out that contraption once more, unfolds it, and then kind of gestures in the air and turns it. And what you see in front of you as the full tree line of this thick, heavy, dark forest shimmers and kind of twists as a portal seems to open, like an opening appears, like a triangular opening appears and splits the very air. And just beyond, you see bright light, and you hear voices and people moving, and you make out kind of shapes of dwellings, all twisted and built out of forms of wood and metal and some form of clay and brick, just beyond the general portal, which continues to open and open as the guards then stream in. Aowa turns and gestures to you and gestures to all of you, and Elevar nods and turns back and moves you on as everyone kind of starts to move in through this portal that has just opened in the middle of this forest. Do you step in?
Yes.
Yeah.
If everybody is.
Yes, we're following Elevar.
You move through the threshold of what this is as you feel the energies change and the air lighten, and you step into what seems like sunlight as you move into a large open space. You see these huge kind of treehouse style huts that are built onto the base of these massive redwood-esque trees that then curl up into their trunk and up along it, seemingly built into the trees of the same material the trees themselves are built of, red kind of wood.
Lothlorien.
But it's like you see this kind of strange melding of nature and metals and ceramics and all these different things. It's like it's kitted together like hodgepodge, but wrapped in nature. So it's like it's very much.
It looks mad elegant though, because elves made it.
It doesn't. There's elements of very elvish architecture here, but there's also mixtures of other forms, other kind of structures built on. And it's at that point when you're taking all of this in, you realize as you look around, there are quite a few people here, as well as the guards that are now milling about and moving to positions and into different areas. This whole space opens out like in a large clear area in front of you. And then there are dwellings that kind of line the forest floor here. You are still within the forest. There's still trees that reach skyward, but there is sunlight here. The air is lighter, easier to breathe. While there was an arcane sense as you stepped through the threshold, that heavy thickness of those crystalline forms that spread their energies throughout the deeper part of the forest is not present here. And you see children moving around. You see people moving back and forth, and they notice the group entering. They see Iowa, people gesture towards her. And you notice one thing as well. Not everyone here is of elvish descent in any way, shape, or form. They're not astral elves like Elevar and Iowa. There are mixed races here. You see half-orcs. You see human. You see the odd tiefling. There's even one or two goblins smattering about, working.
No, they're though racists.
You don't see any drow firsthand. You don't see them there. But as you take all
drow
of this
are
in,
hard work.
They are. As you take all of this in, Iowa kind of approaches Elevar and nods at you. He's like, please accompany me. We must have a conversation. And we're going to go take a break at that moment.
Ooh.
So, on our return, we're going to be giving away a copy of this. trying to think of a question on the break, and then we will come back and pose the question to win a copy of When the Blood Has Dried by Gary Maloney. Writer Gary Maloney, art by Danielle Romero, and letters, I think, letters and colours by letters. Letterer Becky Carey. So artist Daniel Romero, letterer Becky Carey, and the cover art is by Marco Rudy. It's a great book. Mm-hmm. It's a contained graphic novel, all in, really, really good story. Basically, in line with the theme of TTRPGs, it's the story of what happens when adventurers settle down and when the adventuring is done. It is really, really good, well worth checking out, and well worth entering in to win as a prize. So we'll be right back in a short few minutes. We're going to go take a quick break, and we will see you shortly. Welcome back, folks. We are fed and watered. Quickly going to jump into it. So here's the giveaway for a copy of When the Blood Has Dried. Again, this is an excellent graphic novel. So the question we're going to ask you, it is an episode-related question. So, what spell did Gray, so Kim's character, Kim's character, Gray, what spell did they cast on the two creatures that were attacking them that caused one of the creatures to cast invisibility on its fellow monster? So what spell did Gray cast in order... Gray's on this side. I keep going that way. It's on this side of me. What spell did Gray cast on the creature that caused it to cast invisibility? So write your answer down below and share the episode on social media, tagging Irish Pubcast and Sorcery Shenanigans. And we will announce the winner and for this on the next episode and get it out to you in the post as soon as it's announced, and we will reach out to you. So what spell did Gray cast on the creature in order to cause that creature to cast invisibility? Answers down below in the comments. Good luck. So, are we ready to jump into it, ladies?
Yep.
Cool. So, where we last left off, the group had travelled through the forest and are now in what Aowa referred to as Sanctuary, this seemingly transdimensional space where this whole community now resides, deep within this forest. Aowa has approached Elevar and the rest of the group, stating that they need to have a conversation. And she escorts you for a small kind of walk through the center of this area. It's not a town, it's more like a commune, like a built-up space living deep within the forest. Dwellings on either side of you, people milling about. You're getting a couple of odd looks here and there. Aowa's getting some nods. Elevar has his hood down at this point, and one or two people kind of stop and confusedly point and go, "What the?" Upon seeing him, he pays them no heed and just keeps his eyes looking forward. Aowa doesn't say anything as she escorts you through this area, and you kind of turn off at the end of a long dirt path, left in towards not an overly impressive dwelling on the ground floor area of a large redwood that has multitude of dwellings that seems to be kind of connected into the side of its large kind of blood red bark that also encapsulates these dwellings. This one that you're moving towards is, think of like a conch shell, but it's on its side. It's obviously not a shell, but it's like a conch shaped like a conch shell on its side, but it's wood that is kind of woven and wrapped around itself, and the large sheets of metal are bolted on and fused onto the top as a roof. The wood kind of spouts off at one end to the right, and you can see a steady stream of kind of dense smoke kind of coming out of it as if there's a fire lit inside. There's a small yellowish light that's kind of emanating out of what looks like a window that's been carved into it, and then a large piece of crystalline glass has been put into the window space as a window itself, into the frame of the window. The doorway is wooden and sealed, same wood that the dwelling is generally made out of, and there is a large brass handle affixed to the side of it that Aowa kind of reaches out and pulls as the door then creaks open and drags on the dirt on the ground. She kind of heads in, doesn't wait for anything, just heads in by herself. And as you follow her in, and your eyes adjust to the internal light of this space, you see that it's quite large. It's one large room. In this space here, there's a table to your left that seems to be made out of logs and wood. There's a couple of log chairs and stools littered about the place. There are some kind of wooden plates laid out on the table, some fresh fruit here and there of different shapes and sizes. Fruit you haven't seen, but you're guessing it's fruit because it's laden out in a bowl. There is a fire, a large kind of fire that is off to one side that seems to be kind of inside a clay-ish cairn type thing. It's built with clay, molded and placed into this hearth that is off to the far side of the room, and a fire is kind of licking up into a chimney-esque kind of space that the smoke seems to be rising up out of. There is a pot on a kind of a stand over the fire, and it's slowly but surely bubbling away. There is a kind of a smell of like cooked garlic kind of wafting through as you sniff the air. At the back of the space, there is a tarp or a curtain that's pulled across, and you can just make out kind of like bedding that's peeking out the far side of it. But this is a one-room dwelling, large in space. There is weaponry on a rack on one side of the wall. There's another shelving unit that's on the left side of the space, and there seems to be large scrolls and maps. And on a small table, there's a large map rolled out, and there's kind of different tomes and writing utensils kind of piled up on top of it. Awa kind of moves in and takes a chair that's kind of seated close to the hearth, and she gestures for all of you to take a chair and take any fruit or food that you wish as she sits down. Elevar kind of sits near to her, and not right up on her, but takes a chair near to her, kind of close to the fire. And the rest of you can do what you wish in this moment.
I'm going to try and pick at some food and just get a general sense of the place and show everybody that I'm just regular and need food, and hope that nobody stops me.
I'm going to scan the table and the shelves for wine, because priorities. And Zil is not going to sit down. She's going to stand sort of defiantly, but also like not hide the fact that she's like slowly kind of walking around the room and assessing and kind of noting what's there, and just being a little bit nosy and aloof at the same time.
Okay. You do find kind of at the back in a very dusty wine rack, there's like 2 or 3 bottles of some form of vintage red, kind of a very heavy chocolatey cherry flavored, nice, but it's got a heaviness to it, and it probably needs to be decanted properly to be drank, but you swig away on it.
Not if you're Zil.
Hey, kind of Merrick is kind of poking around at the maps and looking at the space and kind of like muttering to himself, and then Aowa kind of pipes up quietly in next to the fire, kind of mainly addressing Elevar, but also addressing the rest of you partially. She goes, and there's one thing, and I'd only mention it now, but there is one thing as well. Kharad's body that was being transported.
Yeah.
That was coming with you as you moved. Apologies, I'm only mentioning this now, but it was transported with you as you moved. It was brought in, and is in the area, but it's not brought in here with you. So it's been taken off.
We know the guards took it, did they?
You saw the guards take it off, but they were treating it with respect because they know what it is. Because it's their customs, it's their tradition. They know what it represents. They know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aowa is kind of sitting there looking at Elevar, and she kind of nods and she goes, "So, when did it happen and how?" And Elevar kind of sheepishly kind of looks at her and looks at the fire. We were traveling. We were attacked. Somebody we thought we trusted. And they stabbed him straight to the heart. It was quick, I suppose. She kind of nods. We'll make the preparations. We'll undertake the rituals in the morning. We will see it done right. Elevar kind of just quietly nods, and Eowyn looks around at the rest of you. I take it these are your traveling companions. And she kind of
unnecessarily bitchy
drags out the companions piece.
Oh.
And kind of looks at you all. She goes, do they know what you've dragged them into? Are they aware of everything our family is responsible for?
We're aware that family histories are complicated, probably no more complicated than our own. But we're here to support Elevar because he'd do the same for us. And she takes a swig of whatever the vintage is. She hasn't even asked for
it. Eowyn kind of nods. She looks back to Elevar and she's kind of weighing things up. It has gotten much worse since you left, you know. Father has become a recluse, a warmonger, a crazed lunatic king who sees only fear and death around every corner. We have been fighting for a very long time. And yet he still has an iron grasp on the neck of Verconia Prime. Elevar he's kind of looking at his feet. He's listening, but he can't seem to look her in the eye. He kind of wrings his hands a bit, and you can, for a minute, there's just a crackling of the fire, and Merrick's mumbling as he kind of pointedly goes through the scrolls and looks at the maps. And then Elevar kind of stands up slowly and kind of paces a bit. I returned to bury my brother and see him done right. I am not here to be a savior to our people. That is your job. You are the elder. I will help if I can while I'm here, but I don't plan on staying around. It was made abundantly clear that we were not wanted here. We were a curse on this family. You took up the mantle of rebel. Our uncles and our father took up the mantle of despots and corrupt tyrants. It is not my place to step in and try and tear all of that down.
What about Tarsus?
Eowyn kind of looks at you at the mention of the name.
Silly of some balls.
she's just like, I'm not having
just
it.
Like, let's make Christmas as awkward as possible. Let's go fight.
Let's throw it all out on the table because I've had enough of this shit.
I'm gonna tell her what you said about her in the garage.
Have a sneaky smoke with me and we'll tell you we'll have a anyway.
Eowyn kind of raises an eyebrow. She goes, "Oh, you told them about Tarsus, did you? Our wonderful brother, the would-be king. If father would ever fuck off and die. Well, Tarsus toes the line. For now. But I sense his patience is growing thin. Along with our uncle, Previs. They have plotted, and they have tried to overthrow. But my father is always one step ahead of them. He's too paranoid, too afraid of death. He is corrupt and weak in parts, but he is strong in others. And his spies are many. Yes, I am the rebel. Yes, I sit here in my sanctuary with my little army. And we poke, and we prod, and we hit and run and destroy and save as many as we can. But without the magic of this land, it is doomed to fail. Elivar kind of is now standing at the fireplace area, kind of leaning against it, and he's kind of picking at the clay on the kiln. As he kind of looks down into the fire and looks back at her. She goes, "Where are the drakes gone? Why are the skies empty?" And she kind of stands up and walks over to where you've left the bottle of wine, Zill, and pours herself a glass and takes a sip. She says, "Our beloved uncles have clipped their wings, and the magic of this land has been throttled into submission. Previs himself has the prime drake, its wings clipped, its energy siphoned into his own magics, and he rules much of this part of the kingdom with fear and cruelty." And she kind of gestures at you, the rest of you, with the glass that she holds. "I believe you all saw one of his farmland retreats on your way in. It is a dark place. Any that go there do not return. We plan to liberate it soon. Care to join us?" As she kind of looks towards Elivar, mockingly, partially mockingly, but he kind of, like a challenge. There's a tinge of challenge in her voice.
Even though this is squarely between the two of them, I'm going to jump in with, "That sounds like a great use of our abilities. We help people everywhere we go. And this sounds miserable. And I hate to see people living like this. I've been in many spheres now. I've been in many places, and I've never regretted helping people under a boot. So, me and my friend, just absolutely dubbing you in, would love to help."
Wow. That's probably a strong way to describe it, but considering where my magic comes from, I'm not a fan of people who enslave and mutilate dragons and their kin. So count me in.
Eowyn kind of nods and looks down at her glass and holds it up to you as if to say cheers, and then clinks it off your glass and then downs the wine and puts the glass down. "Well, if all your friends are in, you think you can rustle up some of your courage wherever it's buried deep in you and give us a hand.
Oh, there's a lot going on here.
He kind of, Elevar just kind of like scoffs and he goes, I tell you what, sister of mine, you return my blades and I'll show you courage. And he just turns on his heel and walks out of the dwelling.
Oh, we love an heirloom weapon. We love those.
Mm.
Ooh.
She kind of like raises an eyebrow. She goes, I believe I hit a nerve. Well, that's that then. You are free to move around the sanctuary as you see fit. You are welcome here for the part. We will help you in any way we can. My brother's burial arrangements will be made. We will have the ritual in the morning. If you speak to my head captain, you saw him accompany me as we came in, the older gentleman. He will give you dwellings for the evening. Lord knows we've lost numbers enough to have some room.
I'm sorry about that, but thank you. Has Elevar been in the sanctuary before? Does he know where he's going?
My brother rarely knows where he's going.
I've been in this conversation before.
Elevar was gone from Verconia Prime before we built this place. This is our last bastion of hope. This is where the rebellion was born. This is where the rebellion may die. But we shall see. Go, find rest, find shelter, find food, whatever you need. Following my brother's funeral arrangements tomorrow and the ritual's completion, we will make plans to attack Previs's slave yard.
Can I just psychically communicate with Zill and go, yeah. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Ooh. Oh, hopefully that comes up as the thumbnail, Wayne. Ooh. So, I'm gonna thank Ewa and take my leave.
Before we do, I'm gonna let Gray go out and just say to Ewa, I know you see your brother as directionless. He has yet to steer us wrong. And bear in mind, you both lost a brother. He's hurting, and I'm sure deep down you are too. We're here. We'll help. I won't take orders from you, but I'll help. And thank you for your hospitality. And leave. And take the bottle with me. Kind of just take it and squirrel it away in my pocket and out the door.
Ewa doesn't say anything, but she goes over and takes another bottle from the rack, takes the cork out, pours a glass, and then stands next to Merrick and looks at him while he's still poring over the maps. And she goes, "You can leave now." And he, where's everybody gone? Wait for me. And he scurries out the door after you.
Jill, she was on the wagon for 20 cycles and you've just fucked her up. I hope you're happy.
Sanctuary is open to you now. This space is here. There's a multitude of different things. Obviously, you've got your usual stuff. You've got smiths. You've got, like, not the toy shop, but you've got, like, smithing places, like blacksmiths. And you've got different market stalls, different places you can go get food. There's all a cadre of different things here. There are guards everywhere, but they're not, like, on alert, because this is an enchanted place. It's protected deep within the forests. As you step out of the area, you kind of can look in all directions. If you want to look for Elevar, give me a perception check.
Okay. Sure.
If I could get my mouse to work. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
It's a 17.
Okay. Gray, you came out first, but Zill, as you come behind, you clock him straight away, kind of off to the right. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. There you go. You see him off to the right, kind of about 60 feet away, heading off kind of in the direction of where it looks like there's some makeshift ramshackle bar. And Gray, you quickly pick him out of the crowd as well. Because he's no longer wearing his cloak, he has his gleaming armor, which is the royal armor. And even here, it stands out. And as he strides through Sanctuary like this, people are starting to gawk. They're like, oh my God. Because they didn't.
I thought he was trying to be low key.
No, Elevar, not Loki.
Yeah, he's given up. He's given up being low key now. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. So you see him off in the distance, and he is getting a couple of looks, and there's some awkward, like, little acknowledgements from him. But he heads towards this kind of dive bar spot that he sees, and there's a couple of people hanging around that side. They've got different beverages, and he kind of heads in. You do get one or two nods as well from some of the guards that would have seen you in the forest, and they're kind of like giving you a friendly nod and an acknowledgement.
Oh, good.
Merrick comes scurrying behind, and he's like, "Oh, that was tense. What are we doing now?"
I need some more drink. I also sorry, Gray.
Go ahead, Zill.
I think we need some food. I definitely think I need some more drinks of the alcoholic kind. I would like to, and it does not have to happen before we get our heads down. I would like to find some sort of apothecary / sorcery supplies shop. There's bound to be one in here at some point. And yeah, that's kind of my priorities. That shopping trip, happy for that to happen tomorrow. Today was yeah, it was pretty taxing. Wasn't expecting to run into giant spider-like creatures in the forest. Wasn't expecting to get marched through a forest while with my hands tied. First of all, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be maybe a little bit more straightforward than that. But yeah, definitely fed, watered, and asleep are on the horizon for me, I think. I would like to talk to Elevar a little further as well. I know I interrupted with that family business inside, but that stuff really irks me. And to be fair, Ao was being a bit of a bitch.
Babe in total control of herself.
I have a bumper sticker that says that on my on my DIT art folder.
Very good.
But yeah, so Gray, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling? You actually got injured. I managed to avoid that.
Very same as you, really. If there's food available, particularly like oily fish type creatures, I don't know what they have here, but whatever they have that's like langoustines, I don't know what's going on with me right now. I got specific mineral needs, I think. So I'm gonna see what they have for like food. If they don't have food in the bar, I'm gonna get food and meet you in the bar. But yeah, I want to sit in quiet and listen to some people, maybe get a sense of this place.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting setup they've got here.
It is. I don't know how many outposts, roadhouses, taverns, hideaways,
roadhouse,
nugs. I've been sequestered in many places with a lot of broken people and in some very bad political situations, and you can normally just get the vibe pretty quick, and I'd like to get a little bit of that tonight. But I'm looking forward to helping if I can.
You're a sucker for that shit, Gray.
Are we bunking together or no?
I think it's probably the safest thing to do, considering the only people we know here are Merrick and Elivar.
I think so. And I don't... It feels bad to say this, but I feels like around Elivar would probably be the most dangerous place to be.
It's been gone a long time. His relationship with his sister is not exactly copacetic.
No, and the way he was...
And
it sounded like he left, like he and his brother left out of some duty, and then talking to his sister, he said, "We were a curse." What do you think that is?
I don't know. He obviously only told us so much back on the Silver Spear.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not entirely sure whether he is hiding something out of malice or shame. I don't think it's malice.
No, I don't think so either.
I've been psychically connected to that guy. And I think if it was something nefarious, it would have shown up by now.
Yeah.
I do want to know the full story, though. And I think maybe we might need to feed him some booze to do that.
Yeah, you reckon he's going to do that?
Yeah, and it might have to be a lot considering he's elvish.
Yeah.
But I can keep pace with that.
Yeah. He's quite tired. So.
He is quite tired and yeah.
And emotional.
It's been a long day and emotional.
Merrick comes like, well, to the pub, I suppose. And he kind of starts marching off in that general direction. I did notice that they had, Eowa had an extensive amount of star charts in her possession, as well as maps of the area, this forested area, but scouting reports while you were doing all the conversation and listening to all the family drama, like it was some periodic play. I was being quite sneaky, and I discovered that there are extensive surveys of this entire area, and they are utilizing what I could garner from the diagrams I saw on the charts. They are utilizing a dimensional portal shift slightly out of phase to create this sanctuary. It's all documented. All of those scrolls and tomes she had. That's what they were about. The general area. It's dense forest, right in the center of this vast forest. We are in the Western Lands. I was just getting to the exact name of the area before she kind of tapped me on the shoulder and told me to get out. But we will be quite safe here, I believe. You need a specific arcane device in order to shift the portal to open to get here. I think we saw
that thing that she had.
Yes, that circular device with the many facets of arcane doohickey. Very extensive, very intricate, very powerful. Clearly thought up by some great minds. I would be very interested in meeting them. But we're here. Pub. And you kind of, as you find yourself standing outside this dive bar, 2-room space that has kind of an open front with chairs and tables out the front and an awning and a roof that leans out. It's very small. There's a load of people kind of crowded around outside. Think, just some small bar in Dublin City and a summer evening where people are just piling out onto the street rather than being in the bar. It's kind of that.
Girls.
There's about 40 to 50 individuals milling about this area, all with different forms of beverage, and kind of milling in and out of the crowd. But you can see into the space, and it's just a very small room inside, with an adjoining room where the privies are. And you see propping up the bar, sitting on kind of a wobbly-looking stool, staring down into a kind of a wooden tankard is Eliver.
I'm gonna walk past Merrick and kind of lead the way to the bar, and go, guess the first round's on me then, and head inside. Sidle up beside Eliver bar, try and grab the attention of whoever's behind the bar, and just look at him and go, so families, yeah.
He kind of like just kind of gruntly laughs to himself and kind of looks up and gestures to the barkeep, who's like, another round, I suppose. And you look, and there's a burly, large-shouldered human male with thick mop of black hair that's kind of just on his head, and then 2 big lamb chops down the side of his face. And he kind of sidles over. He's got a grimy white shirt on with a leather apron over it. And he kind of just, not even cleaning glasses in the typical sense, he just reaches below and takes out a couple more wooden tankards, not too dissimilar to this, and plonks them down, reaches under the bar and pulls up like a large kind of wooden barrel with a tap on the end, and then just twists the tap, which pours a frothy maltish type ale into each tankard, and then he puts the barrel back under, and then Eliver just kind of gives him a wave, and he just kind of grunts and goes back to the other end of the bar, where you see there's a couple of individuals leaning, barflies that are leaning there, and he just leans and starts talking to them. Eliver kind of like, turns out I knew his dad back in the day, so there you go. Last time I saw him, he wasn't even him. It was his brother. Hang on. Am I thinking of the right person? And he kind of grunts and waves to himself. Anyway, yeah, family. Look, don't take my sister up the wrong way. She's a good one. She really is. She cares for all these people. Myself and Carrad, we're the fuck-ups in the family. We're the reason why half of this is probably happening. It's our cursed behavior and situation that led to the disruption of the magics in the land, which allowed whatever this evil is to seep in. So she has a right to be pissed.
Can you explain the cursed part?
Do you remember I told you? I think I told you. I've told this story to a few people. But there is a bonding that's meant to happen at a certain age with the royal family.
Yeah, they're dragons.
Yeah. And we didn't bond correctly. My dragon's out there somewhere because I had to let it go. My brother's, It was cursed, broken, wrong. And because we're twins, it amplified it between the two of us. It's the reason why I had to send my dragon away. Because if I'd kept her, she would have become corrupt. She would have cursed the dragon, cursed the magics in the land, and we would have ended up destroying Verconia Prime because of the curse, because of some weird magical genetic thing that happened to us when we were born.
Did people recognize your sacrifice?
We didn't sacrifice anything.
You gave up your dragon.
We gave up our dragon because we had to, because we were leaving. We had to leave. We had to get off Verconia Prime. We couldn't stay. And because of that curse, our mother became sick. And she eventually died.
Oh.
And our father never forgave us. And he became twisted and bitter and evil. He let the rage consume him. And it consumed his dragon. The dragons in this land are the reason why magic exists here. It controls it. So when the royal family's dragons become corrupt, the magic becomes corrupt. And you see these crystalline forms everywhere. And that purple energy, that puce-ish, sickly color, that is the corrupt magics. And it is spreading further and further. The only way, and he's noticed now, like he's only been here like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he seems like he's had about 10 drinks. The only way that they could stop the magic from becoming more corrupt is to clip the dragons. You see, these dragons, beautiful creatures, majestic, powerful. Their wings spread wide as they soar through the sky. The wings are crystalline forms. They're not physical.
Oh.
So they take them and they get the base of their wings, which is physical, and they clip them with magical binds, and they siphon the magic off and pump them into individuals to make them powerful. So you have my father, my brother, Tarsus, my uncles, which are a multitude, all draining the magics, becoming corrupt and twisted and wrong, making this land sick. So, he picks up his tankard. Tomorrow we'll bury my brother. We might free some slaves. We'll do good for one day. But I doubt we could do much else against a power like that.
You can do a lot in one day. And you can do a lot in someone's memory. And you can do a lot when you're trying to prove yourself to your family.
Elevar kind of continues to chug his beer. Outside, the noise is kind of kicking up a wee bit as people get a bit more boisterous, and Merrick is just sitting there staring kind of suspiciously into the mug, looking at the three of you as you drink, and he just tentatively takes a sip. I was like, well, at least tomorrow we will bury Carrad, perform whatever burial rites you have, and we can honor him at least, and then move on and do whatever good deeds we need to do.
How are you feeling about that?
Who's that addressed at? Is that addressed at Elevar?
Yeah.
So he kind of just looks at me and said, I've come to terms with it, I guess, but I mean, we lived a dangerous lifestyle. Wasn't expected it to end up this way. But the rituals tomorrow will be intense. And we will have to make sure that the magics trapped within Carad's bodies are dispersed evenly. The link with his dragon, his abilities, his powers. I don't know how it'll affect me physically and arcanely. I don't know if it will have any effect. There's never been twins in the family line before. Generally, when a member dies, their body is burned, the ritual is performed, and their magics are dispersed into the land. But we shared essence. We were brothers, twins.
There's never been twins before?
No, we were an anomaly. That was part of what they believed the curse was. We were initially
not celebrated as a miracle?
No.
Yeah, one man's curse is another man's blessing, I've found on my travels.
Huh.
And this rite and ceremony that we conduct for Carrot tomorrow, just out of curiosity, is there a possibility that any part of that could summon his dragon?
No.
Okay.
It's a dispersal of his energies into the land.
Just making sure.
No, there's no way it could summon. Not in these times. There aren't any dragons left to summon that can be summoned. Hence the disruption of the land. And he kind of downs his drink once more. Well, I think I'm going to go put my head down and sleep heavily. I'll probably snore loudly. I do thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it. I know Coward would too.
Thank you, Elevar. Is it appropriate for us to be there tomorrow? Is that okay?
Of course. Of course, you were his friends.
Okay.
You were his members of his crew. And he kind of sways a bit. And you nearly swear he's just had one drink. But he's swaying a wee bit. And, you know, my sister, she's grateful. I know Awa. She may not seem it. She comes off like as a cold bitch. But she does appreciate it. She's been through a lot. The burden of being the eldest. The burden of once being the one in line and promising a bright future, then having it taken from you and replaced with nothing but shit and destruction. That can affect you. Anyway, enough of this morbid bullshit. I'm off to sleep. And he kind of wobbles out of the bar and kind of wanders off in the direction of somewhere to sleep.
Have we been told where our lodgings are?
Not yet.
Okay. we should probably find that out.
I'm going to lean into Zill and go, I can't believe we traveled across spheres and portals. And people still have gendered insults. You just think things are going to be more different, you know? Anyway, I'm going to see if I can find fish or little shelly things or things that eat the bottom of ponds. I don't know what to tell you. That's what I want right now. So I'm going to go talk around to people, see if they have creatures that taste like wet cloths. and then I'll drink with you, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna go to sleep. And I'm gonna go so asleep. I think Gray sounds a bit pissed as well. He's a bit tired and injured and emotional. He's been taking on all of the interfamily stress. He loves a hereditary curse. He loves meaning hates. Feels bad for. So he's taking all that on board. He's all over the place at the moment.
Very good.
And he knows that Zill does not mind being left on her own for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As Gray gets up to depart the bar and walks to the end of the bar where Merrick is, you realise that Merrick has fallen fast asleep on the bar, head down, beer half drank, and he's just snoring loudly.
Oh, bless. I'm going to look around, try and catch the eye of Barkeep, and ask him if there is anywhere open to stay that he could recommend.
The barkeep kind of wanders over. He's like, well, there's some free dwellings as far as I know, about 5 doors down, open to whoever needs them. It's the community is how it's done here. If you need a place to stay and there's a free dwelling, you take the free dwelling and you stay there.
Okay. Well, I could definitely get this one, gesturing at the snoring Merrick. I definitely could get this one to bed, and free up some of your counter space. Do you guys serve food here, or do I need to visit a different establishment for that?
Oh, we do food. Yeah, we do food. We got some vegetable stew. We got we've got some roast of a nondescript nature with vegetables, and then we've got meat on a stick if it's just a nibble you're after. And then we have soup. Today's soup is tomato.
Why do I love that so much?
Tell you what, I will take a plate of your roast and veg. Do you mind if I have that and another beer, and then I will take myself and this gentleman out of here. My feline friend was hoping to get their paws on some pescatarian delights. Have you got any fish, or is that a next door?
We're generally an agnostic commune, so we don't really have any religious food.
Oh, just fish.
Oh. I don't have any fish, but we are deep in a forest. The nearest
I appreciate this is probably a hard ask, but it's what he wants. I think he's just vitamin D deficient. I think if he finds something else, he'll be fine. But he has a goo on him for some sort of eels aren't necessarily you can get land eels, right? They're in marshy waters and stuff, and they're kind of fish.
I do know Dobler, who is the individual who owns the stall 3 doors that way, has been known to have eel on a stick from time to time. At least that's what he calls it.
Put me on throat, Dabbler.
That's a good disclaimer. Look, he calls it eel on a stick. After that, you're on your own.
Yeah. And after a while, Zil, your food is brought out, and like you have a conversation with the barman as he talks back and forth, and you get the sense that he's just a simple man, has a bar, runs it in this sanctuary. It's makeshift, threw it together. Doesn't want to cause any harm to anyone. Just wants to live his life. The day is getting on.
Mm-hmm.
Gray, you eventually find Dobler's stall, and there are some nondescript eel-esque type creatures on a stick available for you, and they tend to hit the spot for the most part. They're oily enough, chewy, very chewy, and it tastes like chicken a bit. And the evening drags on, your dwellings are found, and news of the funeral preparations for the following morning start to move through Sanctuary. And you can see that in large sections near the entrance of where you came in, a dais has been raised, a large platform has been kind of set up. And after a while, the coffin-esque shape is brought out and laid there in the evening. When the sun begins to set, people move to and forth, people stop, pay their respects, go about their evening. And it's like a normal little town. It's like a strange feeling about it. Like you came here under the idea of running from creatures in the forest and running from danger. You came into this space and it's welcoming. It feels like a small little community town. Could have been on anywhere on the Sword Coast. It could be anywhere on any sphere that you found yourself on. These are just regular people. Yes, there are guards and armed people here, but just like any town's guard. And it seems normal, but that in itself throws you. And just for the sake of brevity, I'll say, as you're all putting your head down for the night, a sense of ease creeps in. But at the back of your minds, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen down the line with this new place you find yourself in. But the dangers of Verconia Prime seem to be more than you've bargained for so far.
Oh, shit.
And as you drift off to an uneasy sleep, the both of you, and Merrick snores in a corner, and eventually Elevar stumbles in, having been wandering the streets, not finding sleep, and he crashes in a corner somewhere. The four of you reunited, bedded down for the night. A funeral waits you tomorrow, and then the liberation of slaves. And that's where we're going to leave this episode of Sorcery Shenanigans. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. It's great to be back. Hope you've enjoyed it. We promise it will not be that long before the next episode of our casual TTRPG campaign continues. I've been your GM, Wayne. These have been your players. They're on that side of the screen, Kim and Jill. Thanks, folks. Thanks, guys. Well played. Let's see what the next episode brings. Oh, and don't forget to enter into the competition. Remember, the question is, what spell did Gray use in order to cause one of the monsters to cast invisibility on one of the other monsters? What spell did Gray use? Put your answer below in the comments. And this
not on a postcard.
Not on a postcard. We won't get it. And this copy of When the Blood Runs When the Blood has dried. I keep saying when the blood runs dry. When the blood has dried. Don't know why I keep doing that. When the blood has dried, will be yours. Thank you so much to Gary. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the players. Till next time, folks. Take it handy.
Thanks, DM. Bye.
Thanks, DM.
Bye.
Bye.